We get a preview of the Men's Royal Rumble. And Kevin Owens' father and grandfather would not like it if he called Roman the tribal chief. All that and more coming up on the Wrestle Story. Welcome back to the Wrestle Story. We discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Wednesday after AEW, and every Friday after this awesome, outstanding, great Smackdown show that we watched tonight.
All right, all I gotta say is, what in the world was this show? What it
is?
I have no words because I legitimately,
You have lots of words.
Well, I do. I have a lot to say about this, but I legitimately...
Hello, Mrs. Gleen.
Hello. Hello, Mom. What is up? Hello. I legitimately do not...
Or Hilo.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
It's, like Russian or whatever.
I have no clue.
That's the way I say it. Hello.
Can't believe they ruined another surprise.
Dude, that's literally... Okay, I have a lot to yell about.
Uh-oh, rant! Whoop, whoop! Rant time!
This godforsaken show was off the walls, bonkers, all over the place, left, right, up, down, and center. And I don't really know what they were thinking when they were throwing the show together. Obviously they weren't, based on what we saw tonight. But, I don't... I type it like you say it, Maven.
By the way,
Exactly,
hello, Chris.
I got
hello,
it.
Johnny Lee. A Maven rant is coming, for those of you that do not know.
Yeah.
It's on its way.
I'm putting up this tweet, and then I'm going to get into this, because...
Time for another one of Maven's rants.
Okay. I got a lot to say. Okay. So, first off, the ending of the show, we're just going to get to that, okay? We're just going to hold on a second, and we're going to get to that in a minute, because there's a lot to unfold there, okay? A lot. Because a lot happened with the last segment of the show. So, we're gonna get to that. So, I guess we should just start at the beginning, right? Right. Because that's generally where one starts. Correct? Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering my questions. So, we start off the show with Daniel Bryan, who cuts a promo about wanting to win the Royal Rumble for the first time, and he wants to accomplish his dream at WrestleMania again, and he doesn't know how many WrestleMania moments he has left. And then Daniel Bryan runs down the list of the rules of the Rumble, as if we didn't know. And just for all you people out there who have no idea how the Royal Rumble works, I'm just gonna give you a little preview of how this is all gonna go down. So essentially, it's gonna be 30 people in the ring, right? This goes for both the men's and the women's. It's no different between the two. We gotta clarify that, okay? It's all the same. It's all the same. So you have 30 participants. Every 2 minutes, or whatever he said, somebody new is going to enter the ring. We start off with 1 and 2.
That's crazy.
Not 1 and 30, 1 and 2, okay? Numbers 1 and 2. Remember that.
Dos.
Don't forget it.
Uno and dos.
Because that's the hardest part to remember, is that we start with 1 and 2, okay?
Yes.
And then every, however long, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
30 seconds, a minute, 5 hours, I don't know. I should probably know this because we go over the rules every freaking week. Yeah,
well, maybe if you'd paid attention to Daniel Bryan, you would know.
You get a new person who
instead of doing this rant thing and paid attention, you know the rules.
Are in the ring, and the winner. Oh, by the way, you have to get thrown over the top rope.
Well, all 30 people might not be in the ring.
Okay, whatever. But they keep going till they get all 30 people in the ring. And then you throw out the people,
Un, deux.
Trois.
We've gotten, French, Spanish, English. We've got it all covered tonight.
So you get down to the 30 people or whatever. All 30 people are in the ring. Not all at once. All at once. I don't know. And then there's a winner. And they win. Who would have thought?
And what's the grand prize that they win?
A title match at WrestleMania.
A title match at WrestleMania.
Actually, just kidding. It's the main event of WrestleMania.
It's the main event at WrestleMania.
So that was that. We then have AJ Styles, who comes out, and we're all like, why is it AJ Styles? She's from Raw. Well, because it's the brand-to-brand invitational, of course. We get that every quarter. So
I thought they were done doing this.
No, they weren't. They were just kidding. They were just pretending when they quit that. They were like, you thought we were done with that?
Yeah, I thought they were done doing this.
No, never. Why would we do that?
Well, I've always said do the cross-brand stuff. I mean, that's something I've always said, but, they've seemed to be pretty persistent on not doing the crossover stuff. And then they did more tonight than they did for the Survivor Series.
Yeah. They did more tonight than they have in the last 5 years. So AJ Styles came out. He's from Raw. He has Daniel, who asks him, AJ, what are you doing here? And then Omos is like, well, we have the quarterly brand-to-brand invitational. Also, Smackdown is the house that AJ Styles built. Like, shut up, dude.
By the way, hello, James. Hello, Johnny Lee. Hello, John O. Why have Raw invade SmackDown when we are clearly months after Survivor Series? That is a good question, Johnny Lee. No clue.
So we then have Styles, who says that it looks like Daniel has 1 foot out the door. And Brian then challenges Styles
Brian
to a
should have come
match.
back with, well, you had both feet in the grave. That would have been funny.
Brian challenges Styles to a match.
Wouldn't that have been funny if he would have went back and come back? You had both feet in the grave, so what are you talking about? You're a dead man walking right now.
Brian,
I saw you buried.
Brian challenged Styles to a match. Okay? He's like, why don't we have ourselves a match? And AJ goes, well, I think you just challenged me to a match.
Ding, 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 ding!
No, duh, Sherlock!
The light bulb went off. I saw it pop up over his head.
So, AJ accepts after he has that moment of realization. He's like, I think he just challenged me to a match. No. I think he challenged you to make some bread. I mean...
He might have.
He challenged you to go pick some flowers. I don't know, dude. So AJ accepts and shoves Brian to the ground, and when Brian stands up, he runs into Omos, and they do this really terrible camera shot where it's like they're down here, and then they like slowly pan up, but it was the worst thing ever. Terrible. Terrible camera work. Terrible. Like, awful.
Yeah. Today is my idol's birthday. James, today is not my birthday.
It's Becky's birthday.
Oh.
I didn't even know that.
I was confused.
I didn't even know that until I looked at Twitter. It was the top headline on my Twitter page.
He's talking about the other idol.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about me.
No, not you.
I chose to talk to my family on the phone instead of watching SmackDown. Looks like at the beginning of this review, I chose wisely.
Yeah, you did. You did choose wisely. Because
good choice, Scott.
Yeah, you chose wisely.
Excellent choice.
So, we then have Kayla Braxton backstage with Bayley. She says, after I beat Bianca again, she can crawl into the darkest hole of her life. Okay then, Bayley. We then get Bianca versus Bayley.
What exactly does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Crawl into the darkest hole of her life.
I don't know.
Oh, it gets more interesting, Scott. Just wait. Just wait.
just you wait. So we have Bianca versus Bayley for what, the second time?
Yes.
In the last
well, last week they didn't have a match.
Well,
they had an
but the
obstacle
week
course.
before that they did have a match.
Yeah, last week they gave it a break because people were like, "Why are we having these matches 19 times in a row?" So last week they said, "Let's have obstacle course."
So
say what?
So
what are you saying? What to, Johnny Lee?
Bianca hits KOD on Bayley for the pinfall, and this is apparently the biggest win of her career. Okay.
She's had like 3 matches.
I guess beating Bayley is the biggest win of your career.
3 matches. She's had like 3 matches on the main roster, hasn't she?
Yeah, roughly. I mean, if we're talking about, Bianca versus Zelina Vega on Raw months ago, Bianca versus Zelina Vega on Raw months ago, and then
okay,
this
she
stuff
might have 4 or 5 matches.
Then this stuff with Bayley, it's pretty much all she's done.
So what
But it's the biggest match of her career.
What does she have to compare it to?
Or it's the biggest win of her career,
Oh, Bayley on Bianca crawling in the darkest hole. What does it mean?
Oh, well, then she went on to say in the post-match interview, she said she won't apologize for being herself, and this was the biggest moment of her life. So, it was the biggest win of her career, but then it was the biggest moment of her life.
Probably will be the biggest moment ever in her life. She doesn't need to win a title. On the bright side, Maven, no Reigns promo to open SmackDown.
No, except we got that later. So just you wait, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Just you wait. We're getting to it, man.
They just moved it around in the show.
Yeah, we still got it. It was just, a couple minutes later.
For the life of me, I don't understand why they continuously have Bayley lose. Bayley deserves better.
I have no issue with Bayley losing. Just make it make sense. And like this whole thing with Bianca, like we've been doing this for like 47 weeks, and it's like, well, what's the point? Like, like legitimately, I do not understand what the point is.
Yeah.
Also, like Bayley has kind of fallen off the map since she lost the title, and I don't quite understand that either. Because
we're gonna get a character change.
I don't know. Regardless of what we're doing, we need to like get there because right now it's just kind of like, what are we doing? Please make me understand.
Bianca Belair is winning the Royal Rumble. You gotta watch her WWE Chronicle. Stick around, John L. You're gonna find out what we think.
Yeah, because we're giving our Royal Rumble predictions at the end of the show.
Yes.
So stick around. I love that James has the exact number.
Yes, 380 days to be exact, Scott.
Scott was like, Bayley was champ for 300 days, and James was like 380 days.
Oh, no, country over. 380 days.
Oh, man. So we then have everybody's favorite, Dominic Mysterio. He attacked King Corbin. And then we had King Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio with Rey Mysterio on commentary. And Rey is like...
Was this match supposed to happen?
I don't know.
Because Corbin was coming to the ring. So was this because I don't know, maybe it was supposed to happen.
You got me. Dom just decided he wanted to fight Corbin again.
So he came out and attacked. So someone was supposed to fight Corbin, and because Dom attacked Corbin, they had Corbin
probably
versus...
a jobber.
Dom.
Who knows? I mean, Dom is the equivalent of a jobber, but whatever. He's a glorified jobber. Corbin and Dom are fighting or whatever. It's not really Corbin and Dom fighting. It's more so Corbin beating the crap out of Dom, again, for like the third week in a row or whatever. And then, you had Rey on commentary, and Corey Graves is like, what is happening with that?
I think Rey was eating popcorn.
Rey was like, Corey Graves was like, well, what do you think about, like, Dominic being beat down by Corbin again for, like, and he's like, well, you see, Corbin, Dom kind of made his choice, and it's his own fault. I'm like, good parenting there, Rey. Good parenting. Cool. It's his fault. Like, okay, cool. Love that.
I can't believe Maven actually agreed with me. That's James. James said that.
What did I agree with you with?
The 380 days.
Oh, I don't know how many days did Bayley held the
title. I think it was something like that.
Who knows? Not I.
Yes, again that match happened. Aaliyah in the Rumble. No.
But this was just like...
Aaliyah's off somewhere else.
Okay. Rey probably didn't care. No, he probably didn't.
He was sitting... Literally, he's sitting over there. He's like... He was over there, like, he's over there eating something. Like, they showed him a couple times. I could just picture him going with popcorn going...
Like, legitimately, he was on commentary, and it seemed like he didn't care. He was like, well, it's...
No, that's just Rey.
It's Dom's fault, you know? He did it to himself. Like, okay.
Because they're setting up a Dom and Rey feud.
They're going to have a spot in the Rumble. Dominic is throwing Rey out in the Rumble. I almost guarantee it.
He's going to use him like a human dartboard.
I think Dominic is going to throw Rey out of the Rumble, and then Corbin's going to throw out Dom.
Yeah.
That's what I think's going to happen.
Probably.
They're going to have some spot there, and Rey's going to be like, what? What did you just do? Like,
You threw me out, son. Dad, it's okay. You deserved it. I don't know if anybody heard that or not.
No, probably not, because it was a bit, you know.
Dad, it's okay. You deserved it.
No, it's more like, Dad. You gotta like...
Dad.
Close.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Rey needs to lose that eye again. He'll just get it back, Scott, so it doesn't matter.
Good grief, man. So Corbin won. Corbin then attempted to attack Ray after the match, but Ray got the better of the situation and beat down, Corbin or whatever. But I guarantee they're having a spot in the Rumble this weekend.
Probably.
Like, I think it's happening. We then have backstage. We have Sonya with Big E, and Big E paid Sonya $1 to see if he could get his number for the Royal Rumble. I don't quite know why you would do that, because you just have to wait another 2 days, and then you get to see what spot you're going in as.
No, I paid the $1 now, just to find out.
And then The Miz comes around, and he's threatening to cash in tonight, and The Miz and Morrison are there, and I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that, Miz and Morrison were on Raw. And that's when it clicked, and I was like, oh, wait, they are! It's just a brand-to-brand invitational. So then Big E gets in a fight with Miz and Morrison, and I'm all like, whoop-de-doopty, who cares?
Whoop-de-dip-de-dingle-doo.
No, that's not at all what I just said. Whoop-de-doopty.
Whoop-de-dip-de-doo.
No, whoop-de-doopty.
Whoop-de... It's like Humpty Dumpty.
No, whoop-de-doopty, that's it.
Whoop-de-doopty.
Who cares?
Humpty Dumpty's cousin.
Not me. Who cares? Not me. Okay. So we then have Reginald with Miss Banks, and Reginald brings Sasha a bottle of wine. He says that he picked the perfect bottle of wine to go with losing the Smackdown Championship. And then Sasha's like, you know what, Reginald? I kind of like you. I think you're very good at picking out wines. So, why don't you help me pick out a wine for when I beat Carmella again? I kid you not, just like that. The laugh ruins everything. Everything.
Yeah, it does.
Everything.
It does.
Everything.
Yep.
It's awful.
Everything.
It's terrible. Her promos are already bad, but when you throw the laugh in on top of it, it's like, please, stop.
Again, I don't know that...
legitimately. I don't...
Well, this is just, they've been doing this for weeks now. It's like Carmella and the Sasha thing is, just overdone.
And who cares anymore?
And so you're putting this towards... Well, the problem is they've been in the ring a couple times now.
They've had 3 matches.
I don't care about... If they wouldn't have had all the matches, doing it the way they're doing it with, this part here, I think this would be good, because then they're not, they're not constantly going at wrestling each other.
The stuff that they've done with Reginald and what they did last week was the best stuff they've done the entire Carmella thing.
I would say, yeah.
Outside of that, it's all been trash.
Yeah.
And it's what's the point?
There is none.
Exactly.
Hello, Observing Stuff. Scott says WWE Backstage tomorrow, number 30 for the men's and 1 and 2 for the women will be announced. They have changed that, Scott.
They've actually changed it. They're just announcing the men's 1 and 2 entrance.
Yes, they're no longer telling the men's number 30.
No, or the women's.
Or the women's.
They're announcing who's going to be number 1 and 2 for the men's Rumble. And then Natty and Tamina are fighting each other to see who's going to get the number 30 spot in the women's Rumble. Who cares? Not I. It doesn't matter. They both suck. Nobody freaking cares. Natalia's probably going to win it. But who cares?
So when are they having this match?
Tomorrow on Backstage.
Oh. So at Backstage, they're actually having a match.
Who cares?
For the number 30 spot,
Who
Natty
cares?
or Tamina.
Who cares? Who cares? I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Who cares? Absolutely no one.
Why? I don't get
it
the whole...
doesn't
what's the
matter.
point? So why do they get a wrestle for number 30 and nobody else does?
I don't know. Of all the people they could have picked, they chose Natty and Tamina. The two,
well, Tamina's never used.
People on the roster.
Well, Natty's used all the time, though.
But they both suck. That's the thing.
Okay, but Natty's used all the time. Here's a thought. What they say there's going to be a scary ending. What if this is where we get the Tamina character?
No, it's not happening.
I'm just saying.
That's for the men's Rumble. That is.
But what if they do something with the women's?
Yeah,
we get Tamina.
Yeah, I highly doubt that's what we're doing.
That would be freaking cool.
I highly doubt that's what we're doing.
Like the lights go out and we start to get psycho music.
No.
And out comes Tamina.
No, it's not happening. I guarantee it's not happening.
I think that'd be cool.
Like, it would be cool, or it might be cool, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
Because WWE is dumb. And
Yeah, well, they are.
And ridiculous. And they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I'm happy they changed it because they should have saved it for the Rumble. Yeah, Johnny Lead, I would say yeah. Well, I don't know why you would tell anything about 1 and 2 or 30 or 7 or 25 or anything. Trying to remember how I said it. Smackdown wasn't bad. I would say it was creatively boring with a few interesting things sprinkled in.
No, I think it was just bad.
Braun was one of my favorite predictions out of my 4. Well, you know, now you know you're getting Braun, and doesn't he look like he's in shape?
Yeah.
Braun has lost a lot of weight.
I don't care at this point because I'm just going to wait to get into it because if I start talking about it now, well, I'm never going to. Precisely. Which is like, what's the point?
But their stands care.
I don't care.
I knew Tamina was going to do something because she posted on her old picture of her around the Royal Rumble time. The thing is, I would like to see her do her... From that video that she put out a while back.
The thing is...
That's what they need to do.
The thing is, WWE had no control over that. If they did, they would have kept it up. But they told her take it down, and so she took it down.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Because it was her idea and not theirs.
Yeah, well, that's just...
Because Vince is a petty buffoon and doesn't see a good creative idea when he should see a good creative idea. He looks the other way and says, I didn't come up with it, it's not good.
That's because Vince is a buffoon.
It's a buffoon! Notes. I need the notes. Sorry.
Just take things away from me here.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Maybe the scary news is Alexa winning the men's Rumble. Mr. G, that's too creative. Man, the dude is jacked. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Why is Shotzi and Ember having the tournament match on 205 Live?
Well, because they don't have enough time to do it on NXT.
Yeah.
So.
Braun is back.
LOL.
Again. Well, he came out and attacked... Scott, we'll tell you in just a minute.
You gotta wait a minute, man, because if I start talking about it now... We're going to start talking about the main event segment because there's a lot to unfold. You're going to go, well, thank God I missed Smackdown because I'd have to, like, spray alcohol in my eyeballs to get out what was on the television. Just, you know.
Thank God I was on the phone with my family.
So we then have Sami Zayn backstage who approaches Nakamura and Zayn asks if Cesaro is off doing his own thing, and Sami says that he's done a ton for Nakamura, and now he needs Nakamura's help, and Nakamura goes, go to hell, Sami. So that was that.
Why did Ciampa and Thatcher team up on 205 Live?
Again, because they don't have enough time to do the whole tournament thing on NXT, apparently.
Yeah.
With 2 hours of television time, you gotta put in those jobber matches, though.
Yeah.
But we don't have enough time to do the Dusty Classic tournament on there.
No.
Nope, not at all.
We're going to have the Dusty Classic tournament.
On 205 Live.
Yeah, but we're not going to have it on here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it. So we then have Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Here's the Roman Reigns promo.
About spraying alcohol in your eyes, that's a big...
That's a bit vicious, don't you think?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, see, the thing is like, you're going to have to, like, drown your eyeballs in, alcohol to get the,
the stench that you just watched out of it!
Yeah, because SmackDown is like, jeez. Hug. So... Roman, Kevin, best buddies, pals, amigos, friends.
Compadres.
So first off, they have this set up with 2 screens, right? Roman is on one, Kevin is on the other. It's like the split screen thing. And Kevin says that there's nothing that he or any of his family members...
By the way, before you go on, the ending of this segment was dumb.
Yes, it absolutely was. Kevin says there's nothing that he or any of his family members can do to prevent him from standing back up. Roman then asks about Kevin's father, and Kevin says, well, my father is a great man. Okay, then. Roman then says he doesn't understand why Kevin can't see his own limitations. Kevin isn't built for this game. Reigns calls him a pawn, and everything revolves around Roman, and Kevin just doesn't understand that. And then Roman calls Kevin inferior, but this isn't his fault. He doesn't blame Kevin, he blames Kevin's family. If Kevin is a fool, then Kevin's dad is a fool. And if Kevin's dad is a fool, then Kevin's grandfather is a fool.
And if Kevin...
I can't use the word fool anymore
let's
because
keep going.
Roman just did.
And if Kevin's grandfather is a fool, his great-grandfather is a fool. And if his great-grandfather is a fool, his great-great-grandfather is a fool. Should I continue?
If you want to, but I feel like that might run some people off.
If his great-great-grandfather's a fool, then his great-great-great-grandfather's a fool.
So then Kevin says that Roman is a delusional jackass surrounded by yes men, and Owens says that Roman is an insecure bully and that he's never going to stop fighting, and his grandfather was a great man, and his dad was a great man, and his family is behind him 110%, and he will not stay down. And you know what Roman does to that? He goes, click, and the screen goes off. What?
He had the remote control.
How did... Like, how does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
I don't get it, okay? Like, I don't...
I guess when you're the tribal chief, you get control of everything.
I don't know, dude. He might as well be Retribution then. He's just gonna take over everything, hack the system, you know, if that's what he's gonna do.
Well, okay.
Maybe Roman is the leader of the Retribution the entire time.
They'll sign him to a contract. Oh, wait, he's already got one.
God.
Never mind. Yeah, I don't...
This just... Good grief, man.
Yeah. I don't get it. Don't get it. What it was. I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, it legitimately does not make sense. None of it makes sense. So, what was after this? Read the chat. That's what was after this.
They're hiring a head celebrity writer. I shared the link. So James shared a link with you.
Cool.
I don't have my phone in here, so I can't see it. Why is Reigns Owens feud still going? What in the bloody heck? Are they still feuding over? Owens has no chance. Let me tell you, Scott. They are feuding over the fact that Owens' great-great-great-great-great-grandfather didn't want him to give up. That's it.
How the hell can you turn off the camera with a remote control? That's what makes no sense to me.
Good question. We're still trying to figure it out. Inquiring minds like mine would like to know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't understand it. So, after this fabulous segment...
Maybe Reigns has to use the restroom.
After this fabulous...
That's what it was. That's where he went. He had to shut it off just because he was leaving to use the restroom.
We then have the main event segment, starting at pretty much the top of the second hour, right? Pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like 15 minutes into the second hour. Like they gave this promo, you know, the Roman and Kevin thing. You know, solid amount of time. But then we had the main event segment, O'Brien versus AJ Styles. Cesaro was on commentary. Sami Zayn came out halfway through the match and did his whole, Sammy, the conspiracies, you know. Big E then came to ringside and started fighting with Sammy. And then eventually, everyone's on the outside fighting. And then Sammy attacked Daniel Bryan, which caused the disqualification for this match. Then Nakamura came out and aligned himself with Bryan and Big E. And then we got ourselves, everybody's favorite, a 6-man tag team match.
Ding, 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 ding! A 45-minute main event. Yes, Scott! And we had a 6-man tag match after having what started out as...
This is only match 2, guys. This is only match 2.
It started out as a 1-on-1.
Turned into a 3-on-3.
Yes.
Okay? Big E, Nakamura, and Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, Styles, and Sami Zayn.
But we're not done yet.
Miz and Morrison then come out and attack the babyface team, which causes the match to be another DQ. Why Miz and Morrison care to come out? Beyond me. Beyond me. Okay? Otis then came out, took out both Miz and Morrison. We walk our commercial break. We come back, and guess what, folks? Guess what? We have a 5-on-4 tag team match.
Wait! It gets better.
Mind blown, okay? So we have Daniel Bryan, Big E, Otis, Nakamura versus The Miz, Morrison, Cesaro, Zayn, and Styles, okay? We're going through the motions of this match, right? Going through the motions. We got, people getting beat up here and there, left and right, up and down. They're just, and suddenly, all we're left with is Sammy and Bryan in the ring. And then the bad guys came back. And then Sheamus showed up out of nowhere and was like, I'm here!
5-on-4, a bunch of jabronis. It wasn't 5-on-4 very long.
Sheamus came out.
Because now it's 5-on-5 now that Sheamus came out.
Sheamus came out. Joined the match. Just hopped up on the apron and was like, I'm here! Tag me in! Never mind the fact he wasn't in the match to begin with. Here, tag me in. Tag me in. Cool. You tag me in? Alright, Sheamus is now in the match, apparently. Because that's how this works. All you gotta do is hop up on the apron.
Hey, just do whatever.
Sheamus then hit Sami Zayn with the bro kick and got the pin. After the match.
So now we have 10 of the contestants that are going to be in the Rumble.
After the match, things got very chaotic. Very chaotic.
Because they weren't chaotic enough as it was.
And then, on top of this, we had Mr. Braun Strowman, who we haven't seen in months. Months! Never mind bringing him back in 2 days at the Royal Rumble. We brought him back tonight on Smackdown to beat up all 10 of these guys and clear the ring. Because we just couldn't wait. We just couldn't wait 2 more days for him to come back in the Rumble. We just couldn't wait 2 more days. 2 days, that was it. That was just too much. 2 days is too many.
Yep.
We had to bring him back tonight. Wow. But was it though? Was the Braun part okay?
Here,
let's
get to...
legitimately make any sense to bring him back 2 days
We'll get to the chat.
before the Royal Rumble?
Birthday wishes going to James's idol, Becky. She is 33 or 34 because he's got 2 different numbers down here. I'm not saying it was good, but I will say I couldn't stop watching the randomness. I hated it. Nobody came out to announce these things. The show just came back with a new match. Yep. You were supposed to assume the match on your own. If you left the room and came back, it was a brand new match. Matches just happen all the time. It was so random I just stopped caring about there even being a match to begin with. The Braun part was okay. Did Teddy Long book this segment? I don't know who booked it, but it was terrible. Like, really bad.
Awful.
Like...
legitimately made no sense.
Really? Y'all could wait for just 48 hours? Yeah, they could have waited 48 hours. Why didn't they bring Braun back just at the Rumble?
Because they're dumb.
So Sheamus won the match that he wasn't in. WWE logic. Yes. Correct.
Absolutely.
Well, technically he was in it. He just jumped in at the end.
I mean, why wouldn't we do it that way? Duh.
Just have people join is,
Okay. There's a lot to unload here. So let's start back at the beginning, okay? Bryan and AJ were having a fabulous match. Fabulous match. And then we had to ruin it with all this crap. Turning it into the 6-man tag match. And what really kills me about the 6-man tag match is, you've been talking up for a couple weeks, with the whole Nakamura becoming a face of some sorts is what it looks like. And you have Cesaro, who is a heel, and they were a tag team, but now they're not because they're broken up. Well, guess what? They started this 6-man tag team match with Cesaro and Nakamura fighting each other. No, there was nothing to it. They just beat each other up.
Yeah.
There was no, here, I'm going to tag out because we're former tag team partners, and I'm not going to fight you There was none of that. No story whatsoever. They just fought each other. So apparently we're not doing that.
Well, but
we're not doing a Nakamura and
before that match started,
Cesaro thing.
But the thing is, before that match started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the middle of like the chaos that was happening, they turned and faced each other at one time.
I don't care.
And they looked at each other. And they didn't go after each other.
But then they did in the match. None of it makes any sense.
Well, because in a match, if it's a match, you're against the other team, you're going to try and win.
I don't really care. There's nothing to it. There's literally nothing to it.
I agree there's nothing to it. The thing is...
Because they're done. They literally have a story right there in front of their faces. And they're choosing not to do it. And I don't get it. You have a mid-card feud already built in right there that you could do. And you're choosing not to. Cesaro versus Nakamura makes all the sense in the world because they already have a story right there. They were a tag team up until 3 weeks ago.
I think if you build it, they could do excellent with this.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think part of this is the building part.
They're choosing not to.
But I don't know what they're doing.
No, it's clear they're choosing not to, though.
Are they? Because the 1 minute they looked at each other and weren't going to fight each other, and then when the match started, obviously, in a match, you're going to go after each other.
No, but I don't care. You have other feuds where these guys have been teammates before, and they do this whole, we're going to tag out thing. I'm not going to fight you right now. I'm going to just tag out and not deal with you. They have spots like that all the time. They literally could have done that with this, but they're choosing not to. Because they're not going to do the feud between the two of them. They don't feel that it's worth their time. And I feel like it's
first off,
clear.
I would have waited till after the Rumble to do anything with the feud between the two of them. Or bring it up at the Rumble. Where it starts. But I would not do it now. I wouldn't have done it on Smackdown. I would have waited till the Rumble to start that feud some way, somehow. And maybe that's what they do. Maybe that's how they get the feud started.
Well, but they could have gotten the feud started tonight.
Why though?
Last week. Because you could start building something. You don't have to start building something at the pay-per-view.
Wait till after the Rumbles, though.
Why though?
Why do it
wait?
now?
Because you already have something built up, and you have one less week that you have to do it. No, but you have one less week that you have to go in and do something because you've already done it on this SmackDown.
But here's the thing: you start building it now, and guess what? Then people like you go, God, they've been at each other's throats now for 17 weeks in a row. I can't believe this. This is stupid.
Okay, whatever.
So start it the week after the Rumble.
But they're not going to.
We'll see what happens.
No, but I highly doubt.
Or start it at the Rumble.
But I highly doubt that's what's happening based on what happened tonight. They don't care.
They might
and
not.
I don't think it's happening.
Might not. They're still building Shinsuke up as a face.
But how? Okay, whatever.
So, no Apollo Crews tonight. No, Apollo did not show up.
No.
He was not there. He was not with Roman. He was not there. Chances Ricochet, Drew Gulak, R-Truth are in the Rumble. I would say that you will get at least 2 of the 3 in the Rumble, and I would say it's probably a 95% chance that 2 of the 3 of them are going to be in the Rumble.
Well, even though they got beat by AJ Styles the last 3 weeks leading up to the Rumble, and that took away their spot in the Rumble, I'm sure we'll see an R-Truth spot. 2
or 3 of them will be in the Rumble.
I think R-Truth will. Drew Gulak and Ricochet probably not, but I think R-Truth will.
Okay, I'm just marking it down. I said 2 of the 3 will be in there.
Okay, well, who's 2 of the 3?
2 of the 3 are...
Which would be who?
Well, obviously, R-Truth will be there. And then I would say probably...
Ricochet.
That's who I'd probably say.
If you're taking 2 out of the 3, it would be Ricochet. But I highly doubt that. I would say R-Truth is the only one that I would guess would still be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
He's going to come out anyways, because he's R-Truth.
Yeah. They could have tagged out and not fought each other.
That's what I'm saying, though.
They could have. Their feud makes no sense. I would rather they go after someone else. Yeah, I mean,
but does it make no sense, though? That's what I don't understand, is how it doesn't make sense, because they were a tag team, teaming together. They've been teaming for the last, I don't know, year and a half, that they've been, it's been 6 months, a year, whatever, that they've been teaming with one another, and...
It makes no sense because they created no storyline as to why they split up.
Well, no, they didn't, but they were split up in the first place. They started splitting them up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Nakamura got put in that one match, and so you could have built something off of that to have a mid-card feud on the roster that people care about. People care about Nakamura, and people care about Cesaro, because they're both tremendous workers. They're both really, really great, and they could be built up to be fabulous superstars, but they're not, because they're just seen as mid-card guys.
Well, I agree.
But people are invested in what they're doing.
Yeah. The Kofi versus Ali feud is perfect. Scott, I would agree it's perfect to a certain extent.
Okay, but
the way they're doing the feud, I hate.
The issue I have with it is that it's Ali aligned with Retribution. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that is really where that has gone wrong for me. It's because Retribution is just kind of a joke, and everything that surrounds them is just kind of a joke. And so...
Sorry, looking for my water. I thought I brought it back here.
Okay, the whole thing, I have a water here that's not open, but...
I'll go get mine.
But I don't know. It just...
I'll be right back.
It could be perfect. I think the story itself makes a lot of sense. With the whole Kofi taking Ali's spot, last year or the year before that, whatever that was. And I think that makes sense. The story itself makes sense. The way they're sort of panning it out is what doesn't necessarily make sense to me. And, I'm not necessarily drawn to the way they're doing it. You know what I mean? Nakamura's babyface because of the gauntlet match, I agree. Why wouldn't Cesaro attack Sheamus? Because they were, or why wouldn't I can't speak or read. Why wouldn't Cesaro attack Sheamus then? Because they were the bar. But see, the difference between that and the whole Nakamura thing is that the Nakamura and Cesaro tag team is more recent. And they, I don't know. I mean, he could easily, attack Sheamus. I mean, whatever. But to me, it makes more sense with the Nakamura thing because it's fresh. And they were literally just a tag team just a couple weeks ago. And then they just sort of broke them apart for whatever reason. And so they could do a feud between the two of them. And I'd be fine with it. They just are choosing not to build it up. I don't know.
Well, I think there's a way to build it up. I mean, the Kofi Ali thing, I don't like what they're doing with that in the sense that they're making Ali look like a big whiner. That was me that should have been there, and that was me that should have been... Dude, you were hurt.
Well,
okay?
I agree.
So
to an extent. I agree
and that's
to an extent, because I feel like that's the whole gimmick and that's the character. It's like they're supposed to be like the outcast sort of, group. I mean, that's what Retribution is. And so they kind of whine and complain about everything about what they haven't gotten while being a part of the company, which I get because it's part of the gimmick. But it gets to a point where you're like, oh, God, geez, it's...
Hello, Jack. Hello, Aunt.
Sorry about our stream swearing. Hey, dude,
it
doesn't freaking matter to me, okay?
I think that was directed at Mrs. Gleen.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Swearing?
Hello, Dan.
I have no issues with swearing. Mrs. G has no issues with swearing. I don't go around saying swear words to people. I yell things like toast and
Hi,
fruit
Jake.
loops, okay? So, swearing really isn't an issue. I have no problems with that. Anyways, Retribution is so underrated. I sense the sarcasm in that message.
I think that Cesaro and Sheamus, Cesaro and Nakamura, if they build this up right, it could be done in a good way.
Yeah.
The problem is they don't know how to build it.
No, that's the problem with WWE in general. Is they don't know how to build storylines. That is their one flaw for being, a show where they're supposed to have this continuous storytelling crap. Well, they are pretty poor at that.
Well,
one thing they probably should be good at, they're not.
I think you need to get ideas from the talent on what they want to do, what they feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
I think that, and maybe they do some of that. I don't know. But I just get a sense that they just throw a story out there.
I just get a sense that somebody
and they just go with it.
A script, and Vince grabs it and goes, here, let me just grab myself a script here. We're going to have a little Vince McMahon reenactment. So, okay. Here's the script for Monday Night Raw, folks. Oh, wait, no, my bad. Sorry, there's the script for Monday Night Raw. Okay? It's a whole lot of, stuff. And
Whole lot of nothing.
Vince McMahon in his office, he's like...
This isn't good!
Rewrite it. Thanks. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Give me your pencil and your paper. I'm going to rewrite it myself.
Please don't repeat anything you heard on the GIMME.
And then what he does with the Raw script, okay? Raw script in my hand, right here. There, where'd the trash can go?
It's gone.
No!
It walked out.
Seriously?
Seriously, you can't do your little thing. So.
The script.
Swearing on gay channel is fine as long as it's not.
That totally ruined my bit, bro!
Nate, sorry, man. I still can't see Sheamus as a face.
That's what he does with the script.
He tried to bully a man with addiction issues with his addictions. You can't just snap and turn into a good guy after that. Nope. Raw is a swear. That sounds like Dolph Ziggler's promo. It should have been me. It does. That's why I think the whole thing with Ali is just messed up. How you doing, Futuristic? I don't like what they're doing with it. I don't like the way they're going with it. I think Ali Kofi is a perfect matchup.
It could be good.
And can be a good story.
Because the story makes sense.
But the way they're doing it, I don't like. Hello, Clark. How you doing?
Hey, everybody. What's up? Hello, everybody. Aunt, Eve, Jack, Jake, who else is in here? Futuristic.
Clark.
How y'all doing? How's it going? Sorry.
Stone Cold
David.
Ed.
Everybody's just showing up all at once. It's like, it's a party! Hey, guys. So, yeah, this Smackdown, pretty much sucked.
Well, for trying to build up into Rumble, this was terrible.
Like, it just... it's bad. It's bad. It's very, very bad. And the fact that they, like, the whole Braun thing. The Braun thing doesn't make sense to me either. Why bring him out now when you literally have the Rumble in 2 days?
I don't understand. No. Hello, Jared. I don't understand why you'd bring him out now. The whole idea
It legitimately makes no sense.
Well, any type of, you would think that you would want to save some of the, like, with him coming back. Just save him for the Rumble. I mean, I guess the reason you bring him back now is to try and get people to think, oh, he's coming back and he's going to win the Rumble.
Is that the trash can?
I mean, yeah, that's the trash can.
Hold on. Vince,
I think
with
that,
the Raw script, I missed.
Nice shot. I think why the New Generation era is hated by some fans is because of 1995. Yes, 1995 was a horrible year for the company, but the rest of the New Generation era, in my opinion, was great. Yeah, not bad, Clark. For my birthday, I am inviting the cast of Star Wars
and
Wizard of Oz. I can't wait to see them on the bus. I admit I was surprised and confused why they brought Braun out tonight. I fully expected him to be one of the surprises on Sunday.
Well, they were like, nope.
That's what I thought too, and maybe they brought him out tonight just...
No, there's no reason why they brought him out tonight. They were just like, Braun, you know what? We're just gonna send you out there.
The whole show. I don't know if the whole show was that way though.
It legitimately makes no sense.
I mean, from the beginning to the end, like it's like someone just said, "Here, we're just going to throw a bunch of stuff together."
Yep, that's exactly what this show was.
And however it goes is how it goes.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, the bad part is when the Roman and Kevin Owens thing makes the most sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to go as far to say that, but sure.
Tell me what made more sense on this show.
Well, I'm not saying any of this show made sense.
Okay, so the thing that made the most sense was the Kevin Owens. And even though Roman had a remote control to the camera to shut it off, I mean...
That made no sense. But I guess, sure, we'll go with that. But I'm not going to agree with anything. Because Kevin and Roman, still not a fan of this whole thing being played out 47 years, weeks, months. It's just, I'm over it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. But everything else is just blah, 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 blah. And what was the show?
Yeah. Smackdown gets a 4.75 barf emojis out for me. Look, the trash can just magically appeared, Mrs. Gleen says. Well, you missed the trash can terribly. Yes. Can someone drive to Connecticut and slap Vince? They can. Mrs. Gleen says, welcome at Jared, Juggernaut Jared. 1998 was my favorite year of wrestling. That was when WWF, WCW, and ECW were all neck and neck and neck. Yeah. I mean, I can see why. Mrs. Gleen says, good evening, Clark. No, Sunday surprise will be Mr. Perfect. That's what I was thinking, too, since I saw the poster of it.
So, guys.
Mrs. Gleen says, hello,
Everybody.
yeah, crazy, futuristic. They threw darts at the wall, pretty much, and said, you're going out there.
No, I feel like it was, they threw a handful of spaghetti at the wall, and if it stuck, they were like, cool. But if it all fell off, they were like, that's cool too. We're just going to put it out there anyways.
Yeah. This SmackDown had 5 matches technically, and 2 ended in DQ. Well, it weren't like 3 of the matches like from one match?
Yeah. The ending, hard to look away from. Story-wise, it was bad, but it was entertaining and random. But was it though? But was it entertaining? I don't think it was entertaining. I was just like,
I think it was just a way
what?
to show who's going to be in the Rumble.
But I think it was just dumb. We didn't need that. You already told
You get
us.
10 of the people
Well,
that are
you
going to be in the
already
Rumble.
told us all these people were in the Rumble anyways.
Well,
we already knew they were in the Rumble.
I think it's just to show you what could potentially happen. I don't know.
It makes no sense, dude.
Tonight was sort of what I anticipated going into the Rumble, but it would have been better to save Bryan's return for Sunday. I agree. They should have waited. Vince was probably backstage to rewrite the script. That's the only thing I could figure, because they, like, you know, I don't know. It just was, the whole night was not good. It just didn't make a lot of sense. I'm even more convinced that the Women's Rumble winner will be Bianca or Charlotte. Only way it's different is if Rousey returns. Stone Cold David, I would say no. That is probably not what's going to happen. Does that make sense? That is not going to happen. There. That ending was not entertaining at all whatsoever. No, it wasn't. Why were Raw and SmackDown as superstars teaming?
Well, because it's the superstar. I don't even know. The brand-to-brand invitational. That's why. Not the superstar shakeup. That's what they called it before. And then they changed the name. They were like, oh, we're going to switch this on you. It's the brand-to-brand invitational. Like, you know, okay, whatever.
Do you think Gillberg is winning the Rumble? I think they will cheat him again and make him lose. I had a thought on that, and I've kind of changed my idea. So, we'll talk about it here in a minute. As Brian Alvarez said, what a bunch of geeks. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. My girlfriend doesn't watch wrestling. I won't show her this SmackDown to change her mind.
I don't think anybody should be showing
Yeah,
this
don't.
SmackDown.
Don't.
Like, I don't think we should ever revisit
Don't
this
do
ever.
that, Jack.
So, guys,
Good idea.
now we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble, and we're going to give our predictions for the Royal Rumble, which is this Sunday, which, if you don't know, we...
Did they say that the winner for the Women's Dusty Cup gets a title shot like the men's?
I have no idea. I legitimately have no clue because I haven't been following that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry, John Elite.
So, Royal Rumble.
We let you down for once.
Royal
We're sorry.
Rumble is this Sunday. And I am pointing at you, not just me. We are going...
We
are going to be on Gimme a Hole Yeah to watch the Rumble. We're going to join Ant and Dom, and we're going to be on there for the watch-along of the Rumble. And then Ant is going to come back over here to our channel with us, and we're going to review the show and do that after the show's over. So, yeah, that's where we're going to be this weekend. So, make sure to check out Gimme a Hole Yeah, because we are going to be on there watching the Rumble. But now, we are giving our predictions for the Royal Rumble.
Yes. I despise Dave Meltzer. My YouTube friends have trashed him. Do you also despise him? I think he says some stupid stuff.
I don't despise him. I just don't
He does say some stupid stuff.
Listen to the information that he puts
Yeah,
out.
he says some dumb stuff.
I just don't really listen to it.
Yeah. Charlotte will win as she has an ego that wouldn't fit in the Grand Canyon, and she's not leaving without at least one strong W.
So, should we get into the predictions?
All right.
Cool. I haven't really thought about this going into this. I hope you have some sort of thought behind this.
I have some thoughts.
Okay, cool. So, as of right now, we have a total of 5 matches announced for this pay-per-view, I believe. The 2 Rumble matches, the 2 big championship matches, and then a tag team championship match. Also, actually, wait. I think we have... Isn't Carmella versus Sasha happening this weekend?
I believe so.
That's also happening, so we have 6 matches announced.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 matches.
Bible reading during the Goldberg versus Drew match. Someone might, yes.
So...
I still feel Daniel Bryan wins the Men's Rumble, but if Brock returns, all bets are off. Or I've wondered to myself if they're hiding Keith Lee in the weeds to have him be out and out of nowhere winner to fight Drew. Well, you're about to find out who we said, so who we think. And 11 in chat, 9 likes. Who's the sus? Yeah. Hit that like button, people.
So. Let's start off with the Women's Tag Team Championships. Asuka and Charlotte versus Shayna and Nia.
I'm going with Asuka and Charlotte.
You're going with Asuka and Charlotte?
Yes.
I'm going with Nia and Shayna.
Okay, why?
I don't know. Just because I think they're going to give them to Nia and Shayna. Actually, well... I don't know, because I feel like they need to take the tag team titles off of Asuka and Charlotte, because I feel like it just makes sense to do that, and just put it... But it doesn't really make sense to put them back on Nia and Shayna. But also we have Mandy and Dana, who have been, like, built up to, like, potentially fight for the tag team titles, and if they're winning them, they're not taking them off of... They're not taking the title, like Mandy and Dana wouldn't take the titles off of Charlotte and Asuka.
Yeah.
Which is why you would have to put it back on Nia and Shayna if anybody else is going to have a shot at winning them.
I mean,
because I legitimately can't see anybody outside of Nia and Shayna taking the tag team titles off of Asuka and Charlotte right now with who they have in the division.
I have thoughts on this, on where we're going to go with this.
Okay, well go ahead and share those thoughts.
So, well, I can't.
Why?
Because
why?
Because I have to wait till we get to the Rumble match.
Okay, great. Fabulous. Cool. I'm gonna say Nia and Shayna, just because I feel like you have to put the tag team titles back on them, so they can lose them.
Good choice.
I don't know.
Good choice.
They're gonna win them and turn around and lose them to somebody, because Nia and Shayna are gonna split up.
Yeah. I remember a few of my top 4 picks for Men's Rumble. Keith Lee, Braun, and Shinsuke were 3 of them. Dave's a good guy who usually gets trashed by people that don't understand the business. Dan, I would say that I could see that. But again, I think if you don't have... the issue with a lot of society today is if you don't have the same opinion as them, then they're losers and, people don't like you.
Yeah.
Which is dumb. Which is why we have some of the issues we have in society in general.
I legitimately just, don't follow, I don't even think I follow him on Twitter.
No.
I don't even really think I see any of his stuff that
No, just some of the stuff he puts out there, yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff
when it becomes big news, then it's, Sasha wins. I'm scared of teachers. Jack, you should be.
The scariest teacher sitting...
That's right.
Right here.
Asuka and Charlotte for me as well. If Jay wins, I might stop watching Smackdown. He's not winning. Don't worry about it. Great show yesterday at Eve. Asuka and Charlotte win. Shania break up. We're going to get new women's tag team champions. Lacey Evans in the feet. Nah, Lacey Evans not winning the title. Shayna and Nia, so Charlotte can go to the Rumble. No. Don't think so, Jack. I have thoughts on this, though. Thoughts. Asuka and Charlotte retain. Nia and Shayna winning the titles. Them more strongly signals Charlotte winning the Rumble and facing Asuka at WrestleMania. I have some thoughts tied into that Stone Cold. Dakota and Raquel take them. Every Friday night I hear, "Are you ready for a good time?" from SmackDown, and then I don't get one. Hello, James. How you doing?
What is that?
So, next match. Who do we have?
Well, who did you
Who do we have?
What did you pick?
I told you. Asuka and Charlotte.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain my reasoning when we get, to the Rumble.
Well, I said Shayna and Nia, and I'm still sticking with that. I think Shayna and Nia are winning the belts. So we'll do Sasha versus Carmella. next. Which apparently, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but they've been building it up like it's happening at the pay-per-view, and as far as I know, like, on this particular page with the matches, it's not on here, but they did all this crap tonight with them, so I feel like that's happening this weekend, isn't it? Maybe it isn't? I don't know, but Asuka versus Carmella, or
Asuka versus Carmella.
Asuka! Sasha! Sasha versus Carmella. Good grief.
I'm going to say Sasha.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to say Sasha because Carmella is not winning the title.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
No.
So,
No.
It's Sasha.
Yeah. I don't think
don't
there's
have anything
any
else to
question
say
about
about that.
It hasn't been set. They've been building it like it's going to happen, so...
Yeah, if they're doing all this building for them only to do it, like, next week on SmackDown, I'm going to laugh.
I hope... What's she going to retain, James? She doesn't have any... She has, like, probably some belly fat. And I don't think she wants to keep that. Sasha to keep the dying Mandalorian push.
I heard that she's getting an action figure.
From the Mandalorian?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
She's getting a Mandalorian action figure.
Well, cool. Now she'd have a Mandalorian action figure and a wrestling action figure.
That's what I saw earlier today.
Banks. Sasha Banks because she's going to fight Bianca Belair. Becky retains what?
Anything on pre-show, Snoop's remix of Sasha's theme and Cody's theme are trash. I don't think they're trash. Okay, the Cody one is kind of trash. I like the Cody's original one, but I like Sasha's new theme with the remix. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Becky retains what? She retains her belly fat.
I don't know.
From having the baby.
So...
James, Becky isn't on the show. James is, like, confused. It's her birthday this month or today or something, and he's all excited and doesn't know what he's talking about.
So, yeah.
You gotta excuse James.
So, yeah, that's that.
Belly fat. Oh, Mr. G.
What's the next match? Oh, the pre-show. They don't have anything announced for the pre-show, but I'm sure they'll announce it, like, you know, before that show goes on the air. Probably, like, you know, an hour before Royal Rumble Day. I'm sure that they'll probably, like, announce that. Like, probably 2 matches.
Probably.
You know, for the pre-show.
Yeah.
I love Cody.
Wouldn't be surprised. Do you know how many Star Wars figures there are? I have no idea, Jack. How many Star Wars figures are there?
I'm not
Jack will know.
So
he's like on top of it. He's like got it like a running list of all the action figures and things. So
Universal Championship: Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match.
Roman Reigns will be the last man standing.
Yeah, Kevin Owens stands no chance.
Yeah, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bayley's going to take the title from Sasha at Mania. No, James, it's not going to happen.
I don't even Roman.
Yeah.
If this match goes on last, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed.
I don't think it's last.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if it's on last for them to do the Roman and Goldberg face-off.
Well, I suppose they
or
could.
Standoff or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean they could, but I don't know. I don't see this being the last match. I think the Rumble is going to be the last match because of some stuff that could happen. Tony versus Mercedes versus Io at TakeOver. Your thoughts? I honestly think they won't do another Sasha Carmella match. I think Melanie and Bianca will face off to be number 1 contenders to face Sasha at WrestleMania, and Bianca will go on to face and beat Sasha, or they'll have Bianca and Mella as part of an Elimination Chamber match next month. That's possible. So, yeah. Do I miss Becky that bad? Apparently you do, James. You think she's going to retain.
She's going to retain at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Scott says Roman Reigns wins. Or wines. One of the two.
Wine, win.
Or both.
Same difference.
There are thousands of Star Wars figures as most insignificant and main characters get a few toys. Yeah, but they're cool. That's the cool thing about the Star Wars figures is, you know, you get even the insignificant figures get, or characters get a figure. So Vince McMahon will actually use Goldberg to propel Drew to the stratosphere of superstars. The plan is reportedly for McIntyre to retain his title at the Royal Rumble.
I don't trust the plan because this is Goldberg, and I highly doubt that Goldberg is. I really don't think it's happening. Like I'm gonna just. Yeah, hold on just a second. We're going to talk about that next.
John L thinks the pre-show match will be Riddle versus Lashley.
I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case, and if that's the case, Riddle is winning. He's taking the U.S. title.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree.
Roman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Roman. Seems pretty consistent with everybody's thoughts, too.
I would not be shocked if Jimmy came back in this match.
Nah, it's not going to happen now.
Why, though?
I'd pop Melania's in the Rumble. Well, if she is, Jack, then she gets into the Hall of Fame, and then both Trump and her are in the Hall of Fame.
I wouldn't be shocked if Jimmy came back in this one, because I think Jay's going to get involved in it because it's a last man standing match, and so I would say that, Jimmy, I think there's a good chance that Jimmy's coming back, because I've heard that he's, if he's not cleared, he's really close to being cleared to, wrestle again.
So possibly. He comes out and does something.
Yeah.
Now
possibly. Whether it's he turns on Roman and helps Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin ultimately loses, or if he helps Roman, I think Jimmy coming back is almost.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know.
You actually missed 2 rants.
Yeah, you missed 2 rants.
She ranted twice.
Because I ranted at the... What did I rant about? I ranted about the stupid ending to Smackdown.
Yeah.
I ranted about the stupid ending to Smackdown. And hey, I ranted about the stupid ending to Smackdown.
Well, but you also had some rants in there about,
Pretty much the entire show, yep. Relatively, yep. Mm-hmm.
They were mild rants for Maven.
Pretty much throughout the entire show. But the ending was really stupid.
Really stupid.
Really stupid.
Made no sense at all.
Absolutely dumb. I legitimately do not understand what,
I've been telling Dan about the amazing mini M rants. I'm quite happy to encourage in chat. If Riddle goes over Lashley, there'll be some dodgy actions attached. I can't see them having Lashley lose clean right now.
Well, I think so, too. I think that would be the case, is that they have some sort of, screwy business happening that, I think that's what would happen with that.
Could it... Apparently Ant loves Goldberg, because he even said it himself.
What was dumb about it? Everything, dude! Everything was freaking dumb about the main event. Everything. The fact that it was a match, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles to begin with, it could have been a great match, but no, we'd go in and freaking ruin it with, Cesaro and Sammy and Big E and Nakamura, and then turn that into a stupid 6-man tag match, and then we went on from there to turn that into a stupid 5-on-4 match, which then turned it into a 5-on-5 match. It was ridiculously dumb.
So Dan's asking, did you rant about Cesaro and Shinsuke?
Yes. I did! For a couple minutes! That was quite stupid. Legitimately, I don't understand. You have a feud right there that you could do. A mid-card feud that people would be invested in because people like Cesaro and Nakamura because they're good workers, and they choose not to! They choose not to! Literally, absolutely, they could... It makes me want to pull all my hair out, reattach it to my head, and pull it out again. I do not understand what the point of this was. And then you brought Braun out for the Rumble. You couldn't have waited? You could have waited 2 days. 2 days? 2 days. 2 days to bring him back. But no, you chose to do it on Smackdown. Like a bunch of fools. After this stupidity that we call a segment for 45 minutes of the show. Really. Ridiculously dumb. Ridiculously dumb. And what did Miz and Morrison want? What was Miz and Morrison out there for? Miz and Morrison just were like, you know what? I feel like attacking these people. What was that about? Legitimately makes no sense. And then you have Otis. Otis is like, oh, let me just caterpillar everybody. What is the point? That's a stupid move, by the way. Anybody who says that's great is lying through their teeth, because it's not. The caterpillar is a dumb move, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And it's like, dude, 90% of the time, you don't even hit it! So, yeah.
So there, you got a mini rant. That wasn't a full-fledged rant.
That was just dumb. That's what that was.
Let's see here. Let's get caught up on chat. I'll be honest. I thought the Cesaro and Nakamura stuff was the best bit of the show. Stuff was awesome.
Awesome was stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Dan says, likely involving Cedric and his attitude costing Lashley and somehow blaming Shelton or whatever. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Somehow, something happening there. Does Maeve and rant off stream? Once in a while, Jack. She does once in a while, yeah.
If it's really stupid, then yes, I'll yell about things in the kitchen, and then I get the jeez.
Yeah.
Maven, shush. Good grief. Save it for the stream.
Yeah.
I can't, though!
Yeah, you should see her sometimes, live.
That's why you should tune in this Sunday for our watch-along on Gimme a Whole Yeah for the Royal Rumble, because I'm sure there's going to be some great spots.
Yeah.
That I get to yell about.
Good woman. I have a question. Will Omos finally get hit by a move this Sunday?
No, probably not.
Apparently he's already been hit. Did you see the gash on his forehead? They taped up? What did he do?
He ran into a door. He was trying to be Goldberg. He was just practicing.
Well, he probably wasn't trying to run into a door. He just was walking and boom.
That's yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. He's a bit tall.
Yeah,
the door frame is there. It just clunk.
Yeah.
He just didn't see it.
Yeah. Shinsuke and Cesaro probably wouldn't have had a great feud anyway, so might as well do it now. No, I think they could have a good feud if they build it right.
Yeah, but the issue
they have to build it.
But the issue is I don't think they want to build it.
Well, they don't want to build anything, so it doesn't matter. Almost can't scare Braun. That could be interesting. Yeah, it could be. It was an awesome match, and I feel like it was excitement of a match. No, it was a terrible match. Oh, and Braun showing up. So good to see him back in the Rumble. It would have been a surprise. He destroyed everyone. Yes, which means he's not winning the Rumble.
And so much for being Alexa's imaginary friend.
Yeah. I loved Otis's finish. It was awesome. Cesaro Shinsuke is being slow burn built. Cesaro will eliminate Nakamura. It will be full steam ahead post Rumble and culminate at WrestleMania.
But I'm afraid
that's what I said.
No, but I'm afraid it's not going to because I'm afraid that they just don't care. That's what I'm afraid of because this is WWE, folks. Okay? We can sit here and say, oh, they're going to do a slow burn. No, they just don't care and they don't want to do it.
Why were any of the Raw guys there?
Because they were just like, you know what? You know what sounds good? Let's go to Smackdown, you know? They all just were sitting backstage on Monday and we're like, I think we should go visit Big E. You know? I think that we should. I think that we should go visit Daniel Bryan. I think we should do that. And you know what? Then we should have a 47-man match. That's what we should do. Because that sounds epic. And then they all just decided to do it. And showed up on SmackDown. So yeah.
James predicts Becky's coming back with Seth Sunday and the both will win both Rumble matches.
I don't think
nope,
that's
James, not
happening.
Mini M rant, says Mrs. Gleen. Yep, you had a mini M rant. Just a mini. Caterpillar is greater than the worm. I would say I like the caterpillar better than the worm. Maven should be a newscaster. Dan says he's here for the rants.
Cool.
Yeah, just keep coming back because you'll get them and watch this Sunday because I'm sure you'll get them there too. Roman retains the Universal title. You know what's more stupid? Raw. Yeah, I would have to kind of agree with you, Futuristic. I got the joy of witnessing Maven's kitchen yelling tonight. Have you ever referred to Mini M as Mini M in real life? I feel like this could be a new telling off name for her. Cesaro Shinsuke and the ring stuff was great, but the fact that we now know where they stand, so suddenly out of nowhere, I swear they're encouraging stupidity.
That's what I'm saying! Why are we encouraging the stupidity?
And Dan says he's losing IQ points watching WWE.
both, dude.
Can you let this go so you can move on to the next match?
Nope, not at all.
Let it go.
Don't do that. YouTube's gonna get us. We've already been taken down once. I really would rather not.
My uncle is near almost one height. He couldn't fit most doors without stooping. You should have been there the night Maven started throwing chairs and set the house on fire. That was her third biggest rant.
When did I set the house on fire?
Oh, yay, Mrs. G. I feel like I've impacted your home life. Oh, my rights, girls of wrestling. Full rants are much bigger and go on for days. Yep, they sure do. Good times of Irving stuff. Rant if Goldberg wins Sunday. She will. You have invaded the home life at Gimme Hell Yeah podcast. Yep. Becky might appear in some way, but she won't be in a match until Fastlane at the earliest, but more likely WrestleMania at the earliest.
You know,
I don't think she'll show up till WrestleMania.
I think if she's going to show up, it'll probably be after Charlotte wins the title or something, and then Becky will come in and go, "I'm back," and she'll have this like face off with Charlotte, and then the first match that she'll have back will be with Charlotte.
Yeah. I have thoughts here, so just hang on.
Okay. He has thoughts.
Mr. J, I love your makeup. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. I worked hard on it today. KO wins with the help with Brock. That's possible. Not. The rants were that bad, they got a 3-month ban. Well, that's the only thing that could have got us the ban, because we did nothing else.
Well, no, it wasn't even a video where I was saying something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like...
So, yeah, it wasn't, no, we don't even know.
Yeah. All right, next match.
Sorry, I have to pull my hair.
Who do we have?
Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg.
I'm going to take...
This really doesn't take that much to think about. Goldberg.
I'm going to go with McIntyre.
I'm not, because I think that's stupid. And
Okay.
so does WWE. I think Goldberg's walking out with the title.
You said you think it's stupid for Goldberg to win.
I do. It is stupid. This entire match is stupid. Goldberg shouldn't be on, like...
Saying here you have a backup channel.
Goldberg shouldn't be on television in 2020, okay? WWE television 2020, Goldberg should not be on it, okay? It's 2021, whatever. Might as well be 2020. I don't know what year it is, day, week, month. It all just runs into the next, okay? So, Goldberg is winning this match. I think.
Okay.
Because he's going to fight Roman. Okay? He's going to fight Roman. He can't lose to McIntyre and then turn around and go, "I'm gonna go fight you, Roman." He's gonna look like a chump. So, you can't have him... You can't have him lose this match and then go fight Roman at Mania. It doesn't really work like that. It doesn't make Goldberg look that great. So, Goldberg is winning.
I'm going with McIntyre just because everybody thinks Goldberg is winning.
Well, great. Good for you.
Yeah, that's
it's
why.
going to be different, but you're going to be a loser.
Well, maybe I will be, but I think that because everybody thinks that Goldberg is winning, it's going to be McIntyre winning.
Now, I'm not saying that Goldberg is necessarily walking out with the title. I'm just saying that Goldberg is winning the match. Because he can't lose and then go on to fight Roman. He's going to look like a chump.
So, McIntyre's getting disqualified?
I don't know. But Goldberg is winning the match.
Okay.
That's my prediction. Goldberg is winning. Now, if he walks out with the title, great. Then it'll be Roman versus Goldberg, title for title. If he doesn't walk out with the title, then it's still Goldberg versus Roman. That's still what we're doing at Mania.
All right. Yeah, I mean, okay.
They didn't get to do it last year. They're going to do it this year.
Okay. I still think McIntyre wins just because...
If McIntyre wins, I will be shocked.
Get ready to be shocked. Get ready to be shocked.
I am so sure this is happening. Like, so sure that Goldberg is winning this match.
Okay. Breaking news, Carmella versus Sasha was just confirmed for the Rumble. Just saw it on their Instagram.
I knew it was going to happen.
Yep. Goldberg says young wrestlers are thin-skinned. Don't get me started. We won't get you started, Jack.
He's a buffoon.
Yes.
He's a buffoon, okay?
Yes.
Buffoon.
Drew wins. James, I'm going with McIntyre. Lots of people going with McIntyre.
Okay, anybody who runs into a door shouldn't have a say on who is, oh, they need to grow some thick skin. They're such snowflakes. No, Bill, I think you've run into a door a couple hundred times too many. And I think something's a little loose in your brain. And, it's not all connecting, okay? So just, shut up. Nobody cares about your opinion. Shh. Thanks.
I'm going with Drew. So we got several people going with Drew here. Mrs. Gleen says that both can be stupid and prediction to Mr. G. Yeah, it could be. You gave me Ant's going with Goldberg. Jeez.
Yeah, of course he is.
Jack's going with Goldberg.
Because he's smart.
The longer the match goes, Drew has the advantage. Well, if it goes more than 3 minutes, then Drew should win.
It's not going longer than 5 minutes.
Maybe Goldberg smashes his head on a door locker before he comes out, and there is no match. Goldberg will be gassed in the entrance. 25 is nice. It's about 18 here, I think. We've actually had some nice weather. It's been in the middle to upper 30s around here. But we did have 47,000 inches of snow the other day. What are you laughing at?
Just you.
Oh.
You're funny.
Why?
Because you are.
Okay.
Mr. G has to go with Drew, so then he gets to do the accent for the winner. I think
that's right.
That says.
Drew.
Yep. Fabulous.
McIntyre. Goldberg can't use the jackhammer anymore on people bigger than him. No, I'm not 100% sure Drew is going over, but I'll be surprised if he doesn't. He's just got the title back from Orton, so I agree. Goldberg was too thin-skinned to work with Jericho in WCW. Maven, how about this? Drew loses the title, enters the Rumble, and wins it, and challenges Goldberg at Mania, and they finally put the title on Drew in front of fans.
Don't see that happening.
No.
Also, I still don't think it has the effect because it's not really fans. It's screens.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre, even though I know Goldberg wins the title, if Goldberg wins, someone should throw a door in the ring. I would throw a door in the ring, too. I actually ran into a door today. I have an excuse, my vision. At least you didn't hit your head. Did you shovel show, Mr. G? Yeah, I shoveled the show.
I would have loved to shovel this show. Jeez.
Goldberg's won the championship. Back then, Jericho wasn't really a name, Eve. The longer the match goes, the longer us viewers are at a disadvantage. Goldberg is going to fight Brock Lesnar for the championship. I'm still going with Drew.
Okay. Women's Royal Rumble. I don't even know who's in this thing.
Does it matter?
I don't know.
We shouldn't know anybody. They should just tell them we're having a Women's Royal Rumble.
Well, yeah, that really makes it
It's 2021. You said 2020. It's the same. They all run together.
It is the same. Women's Royal Rumble 2021. I don't know who's in it. People. A person.
Well, I can tell. Who do you think's going to win?
I don't know. I legitimately have no clue. No clue.
Good. Then you're
okay. Announced for the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. Right now we have Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina, and Natalya. That's who we have announced for this right now. I'm going to say I have 2 guesses for this. One is more likely than the other. A returning Ronda would be my one guess. Or Charlotte. That's the only other one I've got. And I think it's stupid to have Charlotte win 2 years in a row. I think it's absolutely dumb. Because I legitimately have no idea, who else or what else to do with this.
Charlotte wins the Rumble, and she doesn't challenge Asuka.
Oh, she goes to challenge Sasha.
Yep.
Great. Good for her. Who freaking cares?
And let me tell you why. She's going to win the title.
Okay, great.
And then they're going to have the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championship and the tag team titles.
Okay, great.
And it's going to set them up to fight for the individual titles.
No, that's thinking way too far ahead because you're giving them way too much credit. And they're not setting up enough matches in advance because I don't think Asuka's going to have the Raw Women's title for that much longer. So I don't know.
I Charlotte and Sasha are going to battle for the title.
Great, good for them. I legitimately have no clue. Honestly, I have no idea who is winning this match because I feel like they have not announced anybody. There's pretty much been nothing built up for this Rumble, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people have said Bianca, but I don't foresee that happening. I don't think this is her year. I don't think she's winning based on what they've done with
Bianca's not
her in the last several weeks. A lot of people are saying Rhea.
Rhea's
I guess maybe, but like I don't think Rhea is winning. I think she'll be in the Rumble, but I don't think she's gonna win. It's just I legitimately don't know what they are doing with like this.
Yeah, I think that I think that she'll win. She may have told Dom that, but I still think she'll win.
I don't think
Dom picked Alexa. Well, the game to play is what do you think will be the women's championship match at WrestleMania, and then work backwards from there. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I have no idea what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
Scott says Rhea. Johnny Lee's going with Rhea.
Personally, I think there's a good chance that it would be Sasha versus Bianca at Mania for the women's title, the SmackDown women's title. Or we do Sasha and Bayley again, and Bayley works her way back up towards that, but, I don't know. The Raw Women's Championship, I don't have a clue what we're doing with that. A couple weeks ago, I said something about Alexa, and Asuka and Alexa, but I feel like that's going to happen. If Alexa's winning the title, I think it's going to be before Mania, so then whoever chooses to fight for the Raw Women's Championship would ultimately be up against Alexa, and I don't know. I feel like the women's division is so just, like, mucky right now. I don't know what to do with it. And I don't know, I have no idea where they're going with anything. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think, for the Rumble, I think it's an okay thing because we're all like, I have no idea. But also at the same time, it's like, I don't know that they have any idea where they want to go with it. So that's what's kind of concerning about it. It's like, we can have no idea all we want. As long as they have an idea what they want to do with it. Cool. But I don't know that they have an idea what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
So.
That's why Charlotte's winning. So, don't you scoop dog poo, not snow? Jack, I scoop both dog poo and snow.
Well, no, you don't.
How about your surprises for the Women's Rumble? I suppose a surprise pick would be Naomi.
Why though? You don't know.
Just because Naomi would be one that I wouldn't see coming back right now and winning it.
Well, I see.
She wasn't given a push or anything before.
I see Naomi coming back and being in the Rumble, but she has no chance to win it.
But that's what I'm saying. So if I had to do if there was going to be something that was like totally out of the blue, out of nowhere, surprise shock, it would be her winning it.
Yeah, no, not at all. WWE booking at its best. Don't have a clue, and we won't either. I don't know. I have no idea who is winning this match.
Oh, Asuka won't have that title clue, and we won't either. Yeah.
I just read that.
Sorry.
I legitimately
don't yell at me!
I legitimately just read that comment, and he was like, oh. And then he read it again and laughed
I'm
even louder.
Through the chat, and you're reading the bottom of the chat.
Yeah, I read the most recent message.
Naomi is doing the Kofi spot.
I agree.
The RV is fixing Bianca Belair. Brock and Becky Lynch are my big returns. No, I don't think either one comes back. Alexa Bliss characters in the Rumble. All three Alexa Bliss characters in the Rumble. And Scott, I have some thoughts on that. Vince is winning the men's and women's. Observing stuff, I said earlier that Alexa was going to win both the men's and women's. So, hey, Mr. G got the hookup for AMC GameStop stock. I wish I would have had that before it went up to $350 or whatever. Not now. I don't want to pay what it's cost now. I would have wanted that before. So yeah, it's that bad. It could happen. It could. Arg, scary teacher. So now, on to the men's.
The men's Royal Rumble. We have announced Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Otis, The Miz, Jey Uso, Cesaro, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Nakamura, Big E, John Morrison, Sheamus, Ali, Edge, King Corbin, Mysterio, both Dominic and Rey, and Braun. So we have 21 out of the 30 entrants announced for the men's Royal Rumble, and we have 13 out of the 30 entrants announced for the women's Rumble.
So, my thoughts on the men.
There's been a rumor going around that there's going to be a scary ending.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Alexa's going to win it.
You do?
Yes.
I wouldn't be shocked if that happens either, honestly. I think it would be a really kind of intriguing way to do it, because it's something different, and I think a lot of people are going to go, what is that? And totally crap on it. But I think there's also going to be a fair amount of people that are like, this is kind of intriguing. And I'm kind of interested to see where this goes, because I feel like this could be kind of interesting. I do think, however, that if Alexa's going to be involved in the men's Rumble somehow, because I don't think The Fiend is going to be brought back for this. At least I think that would be stupid to bring The Fiend back for the Rumble. I think that Alexa's going to get involved in the Rumble and throw out Randy. That's what I think is going to happen. At least. She's going to get involved and be the one to eliminate Randy from the match.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I mean, I can see that.
So,
Alexa winning the men's Rumble would be bad.
Why, though? Why would it be bad?
Here's why I think it's intriguing. Why I think it would work. The reason I think it works is because they have her bouncing between this Fiend type character, like he's taken her over, and so it's more of a
I guess the question I have for it is, where do they take it after this? The way I would do it, I guess, would be that if she wins the Rumble, she gets the win for him, I suppose. And then, leading up to because he's not ready to come back yet, but he'll be ready at Mania, which is a couple months down the line from the Rumble. So, over time, over this period of time where, she wins the Rumble and we have, this time, the Fiend isn't ready. And so, the Fiend then ultimately will come back at Mania or whatever and fight whoever. The only issue I have with it is that he'll be fighting for a championship.
So Alexa comes dressed as the Fiend. It would not shock me if she came out in his outfit. However, I think that with the Fiend having control over, changing tying back into what I said about the Fiend a long time ago about her or him having control. I gotta get a drink of water so you can talk.
Alexa cosplays like Liv Morgan. I don't know. I think it's a very intriguing idea, and it's something different. It's something that we haven't seen, and I think it would make a lot of people angry, but I think at the same time it would also be very interesting because, like I said, if they do it in the way of Alexa gets the win for the Rumble for the Fiend because the Fiend isn't ready to come back yet, and then ultimately he shows up at Mania with this new gear, whatever, look, because he's been, burned alive or whatever. And and then they save that big reveal for Mania, I think that would be kind of interesting.
Well, and here's a thought, is with The Fiend having control over, like, you know, the people he's affected, the people that he's had feuds with, right? Because almost all of them have changed their attitude, changed their way of thinking, everything, right? Mm-hmm. I think that with that, in the match, you could see Braun helping her out. You could potentially see Daniel Bryan helping her out. Mm-hmm. So it's these people that have been affected by the Fiend helping out the whole process, and so that's how she ultimately ends up getting the win.
Or the win bank, that didn't work great either. But see, I feel like the difference between that and this is that the whole, like, James Ellsworth, like, winning the briefcase and stuff and then, like, just throwing it to Carmella, I feel like that's different than what they could do with this. You know what I mean? Because it's not... I don't know. I just feel like they're not the same thing.
No, I don't think so, because I think this is like a supernatural thing, and like that you can use and like tie it back into the whole Fiend thing. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's not ready to come back. And I think you get the whole entrance, like the whole, his music, everything, and it's like people be like, oh wow, he's coming back, and no, it's not him, it's just her coming out dressed as him. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of these special effects matches with Alexa like we got on Monday. See, I think there's a couple ways you can look at it, because the idea of those is a huge no-no for me. Oh, no. The idea is if you're trying to stretch the imagination, you're trying to stretch the idea of trying to get people to watch it, right? Mm-hmm. This would draw people in that would not normally watch wrestling.
Well, see, the thing about it also that I think that would kind of be an issue is a lot of people not buying into it and not, you know, not suspending their, you know, like, the whole, like, I can't believe this, you know, like, this isn't real type of thing. That's where I think they might, you know, run into an issue with that, with people like that who can't, you know, look at it and go,
I think
you're
diehard wrestling fans.
You know, right, this isn't the, you know?
Your diehard wrestling fans would go, no, I don't, like, this is, like, dumb. But your fans that are into, like, your supernatural shows, right? Especially now that WWE is going to the Peacock channel. And it's not just going to be on the WWE network. Now anybody that has the Peacock network or app is going to have the opportunity to be watching this stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you go beyond the wrestling and go towards the entertainment side of things,
yeah,
then this would be a perfect way to do it. To try and draw people in to check this out. Hey, you know, especially with all the supernatural, you know, shows that are out there. If you did this in wrestling, people would be going, man, this is like nuts. Alexa is a Fiend monster is another way of burying the women's division. The writers do a good enough job of burying the talent, let alone bookers. We don't need more characters not selling people. I would say that too, but they've built the Fiend up as a supernatural person. I mean, they burn him alive, right?
Yeah.
So in theory, he shouldn't ever come back, but he's going to come back. So if you're going to go down this road, then go down it and do it as an entertainment thing.
See, I definitely don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's I think it's an interesting option.
I disagree. It would draw more people in as there is inconsistency in the presentation of paranormal activity within a fake sports product in WWE. The thing is I think that if you're trying to, again, I think that this ties into where they're going with their product. Because you have 22 million eyes that you're going to try pulling into your product here in about 2 months. And I think it's more than that now. You're going to try drawing those eyes over to your product for people to watch it. And so I think that doing some of this stuff is going to bring people into some of this, would bring people in and to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Edge, because you never lost the World Championship, do you have to link it? Like, either the WWE shows take place in a universe where the paranormal is normal and people can be set on fire with no ramifications, or you're not in that world. Fiend burned alive, Kane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the thing about it, is, like, I think that they would have an issue.
You've already stepped across and done these things.
There's a lot of fans that I think would have an issue with being able, to look at it and go, well, this is a joke. This is totally...
Which is why I said the diehard wrestling fans are going to sit here and go...
I feel like people need to look at it in a sense of... But is any of it real, though?
Let me ask you this. Why did anybody like The Undertaker?
Because he was the dead man.
Okay.
I don't know.
Why though? He was the dead man, so people thought, man, this is beyond, like, now he could do stuff in the ring, but it was his character that got him over. Because before he was the Undertaker, he wasn't over. When he was wrestling, as his other gimmicks, he wasn't over.
Yeah.
When he became the Undertaker, he got over. Mm-hmm. Right? So I think that it's one of those things where if you're trying to draw more people into your product, this is where it's a way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my audience is an over 18s audience and is 80% non-WWE wrestling audience whom attend because it's the cool show. If I did what WWE did, I wouldn't be the cool show. Like, my audience isn't a diehard wrestling fan. Well, and I think that I think it all depends on the presentation. The problem with WWE is they've gone over the top with some of their stuff. Mm-hmm. And so now they've got to try and make it interesting and make people want to like it. As a kid, Taker scared me and excited me. As an adult, I go back and watch it, and it was the same slow match. Yes, Undertaker was a product of his time. In my opinion, we can't go back to that in the same way because society has evolved. But don't you think that having something of the mystique, something out of the ordinary, something that is beyond belief, because this is what people want. People want stuff that's beyond belief.
Well, that's the thing about it, though, is I find that a lot of people have issues
without having to do something totally off the wall
beyond belief stuff because they go, oh, it's cheesy, or oh, it's
well, some will.
It's cheesy, it's over the top. It's
but
blah,
no matter
blah,
what
blah.
you do, you're going to have that.
Well, that's the thing, though.
And so,
it's just, what's the limit on what can they do that people are going to sit there and go, this is completely stupid, Which I get. I mean, I understand where, that aspect of things. But I think that WWE, well, more importantly, Vince, would think beyond more than that, knowing he's going to have 22 million eyes on his product here soon. Mm-hmm. What's going to draw those people over to watch the WWE that aren't watching it now? Yeah.
Because people aren't watching it now, for various reasons. People stop watching it because the matches suck.
Well, I feel like
the booking sucks.
We need to change some things up and do something different and throw something in there that's gonna sort of stir the pot, and just try something different, and don't just sit back and do all the same crap that we always do, which is getting you absolutely nowhere. I think that's where Vince just needs to decide whether he's going to, take the leap of faith and try to do something totally out of the box that might totally work or it might totally flop. And it's just a matter of, whether he's going to take the jump and do it to try and better his product. It might work, it might not.
I did like the original presentation of The Fiend, but I think it's gone too far. You ever see that banned episode of X-Files called Home? I have not seen it. Well, maybe I have. I don't know. I've seen a lot of the X-Files. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. I think it just makes wrestling not cool. Another reason for non-wrestling fans to point out and laugh at this garbage.
I already point and laugh at this garbage.
I was going to say, people are already doing that.
You know, like, I don't know. I think that something needs to be done something different that isn't what we always see all the time. And I'm not necessarily saying the whole, Alexa winning the Rumble and doing this whole thing is the answer, but I think that they need to do something that's different and that's out of the box. Like, it steps outside the box of what WWE is doing at the moment in time. Whether it could completely come across as totally cheesy and we go, what in the garbage was this? Or whether we sit there and go, this was freaking amazing and I can't believe they did that. I feel like they need to do something. To better the product, I guess. At least take a chance and try to do something to better the product. You know what I mean? Which
is why I think you go outside the box.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of saying is, Vince just needs to take the jump and do it and do something. And if it turns out great, then okay. But if it turns out bad, well, 90% of the stuff that he tries to do in the first place, sometimes it ends bad anyways. So it's no different than, like, an episode of Raw or Smackdown doing something stupid on there.
Given society now, I don't think we can do Undertaker again. We can't rewind. We've come too far. Put your faith in the VCR. Well, I agree, Jack, to a certain extent, but I think that you're not trying to imitate The Undertaker. But The Undertaker, I don't think, was anything bad from, like, I mean, he had some gimmicks that were pretty rough and stuff like that, but I don't think that I don't think he was totally bad, in a sense that they couldn't do that now. I can believe in a freaky, messed up character who can take a kicking like no other, but when it gets inconsistent in its rules of the world, it takes place and over the top with paranormal, it's too far. I mean, I could see that. I mean, I could see wrestling fans being upset with that. But I think if you're Vince, you're thinking outside the box here, and you're trying to think, okay, how can we draw people in? And the whole paranormal thing sells. Mm-hmm. As weird as it may sound, the paranormal stuff sells. One of the interesting things I brought out today with Bray is, why is the Firefly Bray the special event that we don't see very often in matches, but the Fiend is our standard? That's backwards. I would agree. I think that we need to see more Bray and less of the Fiend and just have him out every now and then. Winner, Edge, Keith Lee, surprises, Jay White, highly recommend, doubt it. Brock Lesnar. That's not some bad, some good picks. WWE have been doing this paranormal stuff with Bray since Mania, and their viewing figures are low. Did you guys see the part of the gay stream where I went over UK ratings? I did not. And I think
that kind of came in when you were kind of finishing talking about that. So I didn't necessarily see the entire conversation. I just kind of caught the tail end of it.
The Bray thing, the Fiend thing, they killed with the whole Seth. When they did that whole thing, they messed that up there.
They messed up the Fiend is putting the title on him in the first place.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and then
ultimately that's what we said.
Then they continuously went down a path of bad choices, having him, get beat by Goldberg, all this stupid crap that they did with him. Absolutely terrible. It shouldn't have happened. He should never be going for the title ever. Like, that totally, completely jacked up his entire, everything he had going for him. And then after, they sort of redeemed that. And then they kind of squashed it again with the whole, title thing. With the Braun feud, I thought was good, aside from the fact that it was for the title. The title is what messed that up.
Yeah.
But it's... I don't know. I think it's a very interesting conversation.
How you doing, Swerve Show?
I think it's a very interesting conversation in how some people view it and how others view it. With, the sort of, over-the-top, more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Agreed, Eve. They try to make the payoffs massive because they know the matches can't live up to expectations of the feuds. Like UK was WWE's number 2 country, and Raw has been doing between 18,000 and 42,000 viewers. We're at all-time lows now, and I think they've tried the paranormal stuff for long enough. But is it the paranormal stuff that's killing the show? Because ultimately, I think it's everything. Because their storylines just don't make sense. Mm-hmm. And I think it's beyond the paranormal stuff. It's the fact that they don't have other stuff to go along with it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what kills them is you just don't have the other things to go with it, because when you watch it, it's all of the other things that are killing them. Mm-hmm. And if they could put together a storyline where people could make sense of it,
yeah,
and a decent storyline to put out there, I think that would be a huge difference. And I don't think you'd have to try and pull this gimmicky stuff to try and get people to come watch.
Yeah.
But I think overall, whether they have the Fiend thing going on or not, or the Alexa thing going on or not, or anything that we've talked about, I think that's ultimately the thing that's killed them is just storylines in general. Mm-hmm. It's not just the storylines with with the supernatural characters. Mm-hmm. I know you guys asked 100 times, who do you think is winning the men's and women's Rumble? I said for the women's, I said Charlotte Flair.
I said Charlotte or Ronda. I really don't have a pick for that one because I legitimately have no clue.
And for the women or the men's match, I said Alexa Bliss.
I don't have a clue for the men's Rumble. I would say, I don't know. I really don't have a definitive pick for the men's Rumble. I really don't.
Yeah.
So
she didn't.
I don't really know who to pick. Who makes sense to pick to win. Yeah. So, I don't know.
The Swamp match good. I didn't think the Swamp match was bad.
Okay, actually, I did think that was kind of cheesy, but I felt like the story itself for the Braun and Fiend feud. I thought the story itself was pretty decent. The Swamp match kind of was lousy, but like the feud was good. Of all the
matches like that, the cinematic matches, mm-hmm. I would say that was probably the worst one. But I didn't think it was totally bad.
Yeah.
TBC, I'm not anti-paranormal. I'm anti the current presentation of paranormal stuff. Again, I think that the biggest issue we have is overall WWE storylines have been terrible. And if you can't put together good storylines, then you have to try and find some other way to try and draw people in.
Yeah.
And so I think that the idea of Alexa winning with the Fiend somehow helping in some way, mm-hmm. I think that is a way to try and draw people in, especially like I said, with knowing that they're going to be switching over here in 2 months to a spot where they're going to have the potential of having 22 million more eyes on them.
Yeah.
Without costing anybody. It's going to, I think that could make a difference in how they're going to play this out.
You know what I find really interesting?
Alexis McMorrow.
You know what I really find interesting? Now this is, I don't know what the ratings look like, for the ratings of like Raw and Smackdown and stuff. I don't know what those look like. But just looking at like the WWE YouTube channel and just sort of talking about, like the whole Fiend paranormal segments, like maybe we should just stop doing those to see if that kind of helps, improve ratings. And I know we talked about, just going over everything and just redoing everything because they should. But I find it very interesting, bringing up that point of like looking at some of the most played back clips on the WWE YouTube channel in the last couple of, weeks have been the ones that are surrounding the Fiend, Alexa, Randy storyline. Like, compared to the other stuff that they have out there, based on clips from Raw or whatever. Like, the Fiend, Randy stuff is what has the most views. Mm. Compared to everything else.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that that's necessarily, like, a bad thing on their show.
No.
Because if they're, like, and again, like I said, it's not, to compare the YouTube ratings to the views they get on YouTube compared to like what they get on their weekly show. But the Fiend segments have gotten the most views.
Yeah, I agree. I don't imagine any 21-year-olds watching any of the Alexa Bliss Fiend stuff, phoning up their non-wrestling mates and saying, "You got to watch this." I could be wrong, but I could see some of them doing that, and I could see
on who you are and what you like.
I could see some of the. This is where I think, if you know someone that, like, the friend, some of these 21-year-olds that go, "Hey, you know what? I know you're into paranormal stuff and all this stuff, and you watch, like, this show and that show and this show. You know what? Wrestling just went that route. I hate it. But you got to check it out because you think that stuff's cool." Mm-hmm. So I don't know. So many people I know have different choices. Big E, Braun, Edge, Seth, Alexa, Charlotte, Becky, etc. This will be fun. I think that's just it, Swerve Show. I think that the one thing about it is it's up in the air. I mean, it's one of those. I think this is probably a Rumble where it could be.
A lot of people have no idea what's happening.
Like, who's going to be there and things like that. I have a different question, but it does concern the Royal Rumble. If Roman and Drew go into Mania as champions still, do you see either of them losing? No.
Roman, no. I don't see Roman losing.
I don't see either one of them losing.
Drew going into Mania as champion. I don't know. I could see Drew not being champion going into Mania.
Nah, I could. Both of them go in.
Based on what's gonna happen, like this Sunday. I mean, it'll all really depend on that, obviously. But truthfully, I really don't. I don't know that Drew's gonna walk into Mania as champion. Roman for sure.
Yeah.
Roman isn't losing the title at Mania. He's gonna walk out of Mania champion. Maybe they'll surprise me and Drew will walk into Mania champion. And then he'll lose the title there.
I don't see him losing it. I don't see either one of them losing. The first Braun Bray match was the best of Bray last year. The Swamp, that was a weird thing with Braun tied in a chair as Bray dipped candle wax on him. I have websites for that, not WWE. We know, Ant. The sites you send us to, and our eyes are like burned out because you send us there. That's like,
Not me. He didn't send me to any weird sites.
Me, when you send me to those sites, it's like. It's like, no!
Oh, man. So, yeah, I
grow up, Anthony. That's funny.
I think it's a very interesting conversation. I think it's a very interesting, I think both sides have very interesting points about, doing
the whole Alexa thing?
Yeah.
Which is why I said, the hardcore people would probably be upset with it. The hardcore wrestling fans. And so, the hardcore wrestling fans would be upset about it. And the ones that are not so hardcore that are
but
there.
I don't even know that hardcore wrestling fans would be upset about it. I think it really depends on what you like. And if you look at it and you think it's super cheesy or not.
Well,
I think it all depends on the way WWE presents it.
But no matter what, I think the hardcore
That's
wrestling...
what I think that
the thing
really...
is, I
because
think,
you could have hardcore wrestling fans that are like, whoa,
I don't think
like
so.
really cool
I think
because
people,
they've done stupid, cheesy things before.
I think people that are really into wrestling want to see something that... Here, let's put it this way. Not necessarily hardcore wrestling fans, but people that are more of something that could be believable will sit there and go, that was stupid, because that's not even, like,
well,
that
that's the issue I was saying, though, a couple minutes ago, is they're going to have an issue with getting people to buy into it. Because there are a lot of people out there that are going to sit there and go, I don't believe any of this for a second, this is all... But to that, I say, dude, the entire show is a show. None of this is real. Like, it's all a show. Like, it's just, some of it is, the Fiend, like, kidnapping people and taking them to hell, and some of it is,
yeah,
other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's all about, suspending your, is it suspending your disbelief? Your belief? Suspending, I don't know. Suspending whatever.
Suspending reality.
Yeah, that. And I don't know. It just, it really depends on the person. I think.
Yeah. Is that a fact that you don't is the fact that you don't see either of them losing what makes the Rumble more unpredictable because we don't see the next big star for them to put the title on? Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you know, I never thought about it that way, but yeah, I mean, I could see my thoughts on why Rumble is so up in the air being the fact that we don't know who they'll put the title on next.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. Drew loses at Sunday to Oldberg and starts reign 3 at Raymond James Stadium. Liver of potatoes. Yeah, Aunt, I looked that up, okay?
It was really funny.
Yeah.
It was really
And there was
funny.
actually a picture of a liver of potatoes. So there. Hardcore Holly and Midian win to win Rumble. I don't see Roman losing until SummerSlam. See, that's where I did disagree because I know for a fact I couldn't do that kind of stuff and my audience isn't a hardcore wrestling fan. I think it's the hardcore WWE fans watching them on YouTube. Which is why I kind of backed off the hardcore fans and I said the people that don't... that because... I might be wrong, Dan. Your fans probably are coming for the entertainment aspect of things and the reality of things, if that makes sense.
I would say
they don't want to see something that's just totally unbelievable happen. And maybe I'm wrong, Dan, but you know, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. So I could see where, you know, there's a fan base out there that doesn't think that is not looking for they're looking for entertainment, but not entertainment to the point where it's something that is not believable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They would go to a wrestling show because they want to see the wrestling aspect of things and a storyline being told that could be realistically happening, rather than a storyline that people would go, what did I just watch? That was totally off the wall and could never happen in real life. You know? So I'm guessing that's the type of fans that you have coming to your shows and watching your shows, Dan. I mean, I could be wrong, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I would pop so hard. You don't know, Jack. Like I said, I'm sending people happy old. You do. So what are you are saying is that you want wrestling to be more realistic
or logical. Disbelief Maven. Thanks, Jack. That's what you're here for, to help me speak. So what you're saying is you want wrestling to be more realistic or logical. I find that super interesting too. Sort of the point of view on that as well. Because I feel like, for me, I want it to be entertaining. And if that means some of it needs to be sort of, unrealistic or sort of out there, I feel like they need to take the jump to do that, to make it more entertaining, to get people to sit there and watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they need some sort of something to, like, spice it up and make it not just this, like, bland, boring, same stuff we see all the time. You know? That's why I think the idea of the whole Alexa thing, why I kind of find it intriguing, because it's something different, and it's something that, I don't know. I find it very interesting.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, when we're talking about logical and things like that, I think realistic and logical are two different things. I think realistic is you need to have stuff that happens like that could really happen, right? Mm-hmm. Logical, I think, could be something that, maybe, the paranormal side of things happens, but it all makes sense in the story and the character that they're developing or that they're putting out there.
Yeah, that's where I don't necessarily... Yeah. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, and I feel like in this case, I feel like it could work because based on where they, have what they've done with the whole Fiend character and what they've done with Alexa over the last couple of weeks, I could see it, like, happening. Like, to me, it I don't know. It's a really interesting.
Well, and that's why I think that knowing what they have coming down the road here in a couple months, with the WWE Network changing here in the States, it wouldn't shock me that they would do something like this if they had Alexa win based on the paranormal type side of things, trying to draw people in. Because you're not getting the people that want to see the realistic things happening. You're not getting the people that want to see... And a lot of that has to do with WWE's own fault because of the storylines of what they've written. You're not getting the hardcore wrestling fans to come in and watch simply because the storylines aren't there. And so, and by hardcore wrestling, I'm talking about people that just go, okay, well, I want to see the wrestling aspect of this stuff, but there's a story going on in the ring, or there's a story leading up to this. And so, I think you try and pull people in that would not normally come in and watch. Yeah. And what better way to do it than try and do the paranormal thing, which is like I said, it's a huge thing. The paranormal side of things is huge. Let's see. Strictly Logic Wrestling exists. It's MMA, pretty much. Jerry, exactly. As long as it makes sense, it's cool. True. It says Ant. Apart from comedy, I don't think comedy has to be realistic. Sometimes I just want to laugh. Yeah. Blimey, I'm right. Stone the Crows. Chimney Cheerio. I have no clue what he just said there. Good night, guys. Awesome show as always. Enjoy the Rumble. Good night, James. Have a good one, all right? Check us out. We will be on the Gimme Hell Yeah channel on Sunday doing a live show during the Rumble. So come check us out over there on Gimme Hell Yeah's podcast. And you can come and join us and let us know what you think about the Rumble. You can get MAVEN'S reactions.
Develop characters, develop storylines, but don't put fans' intelligence down, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But, again, like I said, I feel like putting the fans' intelligence down, like, what? I'm going to be all like, what does that mean? But, like, I feel like there's a line of, putting down the fans' intelligence and trying to create a product that's, but, okay, how is this any different from, a show, with, you keep bringing up paranormal, a paranormal, something on the USA Network.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a show, and I feel like people need to look at it as, it's a show. And it's just all part of the story type of a thing. We're not trying to tell you that you're you need to, you're stupid or whatever if you don't, I don't know. It's a really, I just don't know.
The thing is, putting fans' intelligence
that's the way I look at it, though, is, comparing it to, a television show.
Yeah.
It's no different than that.
Yeah. It's
just wrestling.
Well, I think the whole wrestling thing aspect of things, of wrestling just being strictly wrestling, with the storylines thrown into wrestling, right? I think all of that kind of went out with how you doing, Little Fettuccine? Yes, we did give our predictions. We've given our predictions already for the Rumble. So going back, I think the whole idea of the wrestling aspect of things tied in with the stories, I think that when WWE basically admitted that they're going to become an entertainment industry rather than, you know, strictly a sports. I don't want to say sports entertainment because they kind of go off of that and say sports entertainment. Mm-hmm. When they went to the entertainment side of things,
yeah,
I think that's where things kind of like changed in the sense that they admitted to, you know, the whole wrestling idea is there, but everything they do is like pre-planned and everything.
Mm-hmm. And it has some sort of story going.
Yeah, because, you know, when I was growing up, there were people that thought wrestling was like real. Like, legitimately, like, real. Not, you know, things are put out there already, and when somebody gets cut, they're cut, and it's like, you know, it was during the match, and it wasn't planned, and all this stuff. And so, I think that once WWE went to the entertainment side of things, I think that kind of changed a little bit in how things, you know, things can be done.
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question, Jared.
And I feel like it's
I
sort
hope
of
not
goes...
question. You answered your thought with a thought that kind of goes with.
I feel like it sort of goes with the fans too. Is like I don't necessarily know, and it sort of goes along with what everybody else has been, you know, Gimme Hoya and Dan have kind of said with, you know, sort of the whole not looking at it as sort of like they think the whole paranormal thing or like this whole whatever is like over the top.
Yeah.
And it's too much.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just sort of, you know, I think some of the fan base would like it, and I think some of it wouldn't. And it's just a matter of WWE finding the correct balance of like trying to do the, trying to find the correct balance of like the entertainment sort of getting people to suspend their disbelief and you know, the, I guess, wrestling aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it.
I think that's why a lot of people have their, you know, at least to me, what it seems like is like because of the whole wrestling thing is like, because they've got the wrestling in there, that it's, you know, I think some people are just looking for like the wrestling aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. When Hardcore Holly's back, he should be Sparky Plug or burn some toast. Interesting breakdown, guys. Well, thanks, Ant. You couldn't believe wrestling was real these days, can you? And if I was watching WWE, I'd be going, no, this isn't real, because, like, someone throws me through a table, I'm getting up, and I'm going after them.
Oh, man.
It's like, you know, it's not going to be, you know, we're going to go after you. It's not going to be, we're going to hug and make up. I'm going to kill you. You know? If you compare the audience to WWE audience, this audience is more of your Netflix audience, you know? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though, because I think that the WWE has kind of is, and this is why I said that I think they're trying to cross over. Because they're trying to find a way to draw fans in. And they're losing their base. They're losing the people that want to see the wrestling.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're trying to figure out a way to try and draw people in. Again, if they had good storylines, I don't think any of this would even be a question. I don't think you'd have to do anything to try and draw anybody in. But the problem is they don't have good storylines.
Yeah.
If you compare the audience to the audience, this audience is more. Okay, I already read that one. Thank you, Dan. A lot more 18 to 30-year-olds not wrestling or WWE fans. Again, this is why I think that you could pull in some of those people, and those are the people I think that could pull in some people to watch some of the supernatural stuff that could take place. And so I think this is where you're. And as I've said, you know, I know I keep resorting back to this. They're gonna have 22 million eyes that can be put onto this wrestling stuff here in 2 months. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's one of those things where, you know, they're going to take a look at, hey, how can we draw some of these people over to come check us out? Mm-hmm. Like, I would be interested to see, by looking at that video, who you think that audience identifies as. Legit, by the way. This is good marketing research. I like, are you, I'm assuming he's asking us.
I would imagine.
I think when you're trying to market to someone, right now, I think they try to market towards the people that want to come and watch the wrestling shows. They won't be able to see the link. No, I won't be able to see the link.
Here.
Ant can put it up.
Well, he could, or I could just do this. There. Now you can put in the link.
Yeah, put the link in.
There, I fixed it, so now you have the moderator tab or whatever, and so you can put the link in the chat so we can see it. So, yeah. It's a really interesting conversation.
Yeah,
seeing the different sides.
So put the link up again, Dan. We gave you mod privileges here so you can put the link in. Open up that vid in a new tab. It's okay. So put the link up and take a look at it again. Like I said, genuinely interested. I really disagree, as I don't think that's where society is when it comes to what people are prepared to accept with wrestling. But that's not me saying I'm right. I'm a big believer in taking in as many opinions and views and not being set on one thing.
Definitely. I find it really interesting listening to the different sides of things, and that's what I think is really cool. Like when we met Gimme a Hole Yeah and started doing videos with them, I was like, this is just really interesting to hear sort of a different perspective on, you know, whatever it is. And that's why I find doing these, you know, the chats and stuff, and, you know, talking to all you people, just getting to see everybody's different points of views, I find very interesting. And everybody always has, you know, a different point of view, and you know, some people might agree on some things and some people might disagree on some things, and I think it's really interesting, and we all gain more knowledge in the end. Dude, you could just click the, like,
what?
Wow, you're making this a lot more difficult than it needed to be.
Why?
Because the link is
I'm trying to
right here.
Well,
open link in new tab.
My bad, man. Because I'm trying to do it from here.
I'll have to go to this. Hold on. Let me go to YouTube.
Oh, good job.
I'm getting it. I'm getting the link.
You did
I'm
it
sorry.
as good as I did.
I'm sorry. I'm getting it. Just hold on 1 second. Calm down.
No, I gave him mod privileges so I could.
I gave him mod privileges.
Maybe gave him mod privileges so we could get the link put in.
I'm the one who throws around mod privileges. It's me. I made Dan a mod. I made Ant a mod. I made Jack a mod. I had to take away Ant's modding privileges one night because he was drunk. And he was going to type terrible things in the chat, and Nightbot wasn't going to get him for it. But then I gave it back to him because I'm a nice person. So, the link. Here it is. Open link in new tab. Bada boom. Here you go. Eve, audience, example. Dum, da, dum, 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 dum.
We're watching the video. So, that's why we're quiet.
Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Back to the question. The question was
all right.
A question.
So who do I think?
Where did the question go? Open up that vid in a new tab and let me know what you think and who you think that audience is. Well, first off, I'm going to say people. I think that audience was full of people.
There were lots of people there.
Sometimes I'm smart. Like, smart. I make myself laugh sometimes. Anyways, you got mod? You're kidding. Because his mouth isn't foul at all. Oh, God. Oh, man. Always interesting to hear others' opinions and discuss. Oh, Maven, you make me sound like a monster. You are a monster. The Hamburglar. Holy Toledo. All right.
So based on what we just saw there, you want to give your opinion first?
No, you can give your opinion.
All right. So based on what I saw there, I would say that's geared that particular audience that I'm looking at there is a crowd that was out looking for a good time. And no, I'm like, seriously, like, it looked like an audience that, again, like you've said, is not a hardcore audience. And they're looking for, when you promote a wrestling show, they want to see the wrestling show.
Yeah.
And so they are looking to go to a show and watch, the wrestling side of things with a story being tied into the wrestling, and not necessarily the over-the-top other stuff that happens.
Wow, you took all of that from that 30-second video? Dang.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the crowd and watch them and stuff, and just based on what I saw there, that's me personally. That's what I would say from watching that particular video. Where are more reaction videos from Natty and her sister, or their YouTube? Scott, we quit watching those.
Scott, here they are.
So what did you get out of that?
I don't know. I feel like it's really difficult to like sort of sit here and say, well, what did you take from, the audience, I suppose. I mean, like you said, it just, kind of looking like a crowd that
yeah,
wanted to have a good time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's really difficult to sort of...
Didn't it look like they were enjoying the show?
Well, I mean, yeah.
They were clapping.
Yeah.
They were into it.
Yeah.
But based on what we're watching there, it looks like a crowd that wants to come watch the wrestling aspect of things.
Yeah.
And a storyline somehow tied into within that story, or within the wrestling that's taking place.
Yeah.
And not knowing, how many repeat people you get and things like that, that would play a part in, me sitting here going, okay, this is, I could sit here and say, okay, it's the not knowing that the repeat people that keep coming back to your shows is that because they're going to understand if you get, the storylines and everything else that's taking place more than anybody. But if you're just talking about me looking at that crowd, I think that's a crowd that's probably not your diehard wrestling fans. But I don't think there's a lot of diehard wrestling fans that go to WWE stuff either. I mean, as far as, I should restate that. I don't think that I think because there's so many people at a wrestling show,
yeah, that
some of the people that do show up at a wrestling show, or a lot of the people that show up at a wrestling show, aren't necessarily diehard wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Mox Kenta stare down tonight on New Japan Wrestling? I do not know. I'd have to check it out, Scott.
Okay, you know what I will say about that?
I'm like 2 minutes behind, so if you compare that audience to what the audience you see on the screen of a WWE show, for example, there's a difference. So how does WWE become cool for that second boom?
I will say the difference, sort of looking at that crowd, comparing it to like a WWE crowd, like
let me ask you.
That crowd sort of looked excited to be there and like excited to watch whatever they're watching, Whereas I feel like sometimes looking at the WWE crowd, it's like some people are just there because they just happen to see that, WWE is in their town and they're going to take their kid out for, to get them out of the house for a little bit, Yeah. And they're not necessarily super excited to be there. Yeah. And they don't look like they're super excited to be there. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. That's what I kind of took from
Mr. J, I don't know if you read this, but could we see Aleister Black on Sunday? Possible, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think so. So let me ask you this, Dan. How often do you have shows? Mm-hmm. You're right, Mr. G. We get the people who want to go to the cool night out, and we get a lot of national media here, so we're always the recommended night out, but we do convert them. So how often do you have shows, but they never become WWE fans from what we know when we do our market research with them? Which makes sense. I mean, because I don't sense that now a lot of them try but say they don't like it. Again, I don't know. I could see that. Just based on looking at that, again, I'm just looking at that 30-second video, so I may be way off base here. I see a lot of those people, again,
I'll be right back.
They're going out to have a good time, and if they like the product you're putting out there, then they will come back because it's a chance for them to go out and have a good time. Where, WWE, I feel that first off, it's over the top sometimes, and so people will not want to go to WWE and watch that. So I could see where people wouldn't want to transfer over. That's why you have a whole wrestling school full of people who don't watch WWE TV wrestling, but that is an audience that would spend money on wrestling if it was presented in a different way. Which is why I said that, I think WWE's got to try and do something, because with them losing fans, they have to come up with something different to try and draw people in. And the big issue with them is again, the storytelling. I think they have some of the worst storytelling out there. And it's the worst in a long time. And so I think that's what kills WWE right now. Is just the fact that there's like no storytelling at all. Or they start to tell a story and they cut the story off, partway through it. Again, apologies for being 2 minutes behind. We'll catch up. Had to pause to put the dogs out. No problem. So, I mean, I just... I think that it's... One of those things is you take a look at your... So 40 to 45 shows a year. So roughly 3 or 4 shows a month. Roughly. Who let the dogs out? So you're about 4 shows a month then is roughly just under 4 shows a month is what you would run. So I think that you have the advantage over WWE, where WWE is trying to do it over 3 shows a week. And then trying to do their 205
Live.
Live.
The thing about that is they're trying to do a whole bunch of separate stuff.
Well, they are, but they cover the same. If you watch Smackdown and Raw, they're gonna at some point in time the storylines are gonna cross over, as far as maybe not the same people, but the same general ideas are happening.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Backfired. It's stuck in my head. So I don't know. I don't know if anything that we're saying here makes sense.
Nothing I say ever makes sense. But hey, whatever. You people listen to it and sit here and chat with me, so whatever, you know. Oh, man. But yeah, definitely an interesting discussion.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think it is interesting. I think it's, which is kind of that's why we like doing this. Is because, as long as you come in and you're respectful and aren't being a total butthead, and we'll listen to other people's opinions as long as you don't make things personal, and we listen to your ideas, and sometimes you'll make us think, maybe that's possible, and sometimes we'll go, crap, no, you're just...
I think it's really interesting because, like I said earlier, I mean, like I think it's really interesting just to hear everybody's different perspectives, and you know, having the perspective from Dan as somebody who's
involved in
the business,
Yeah.
and then you have just us civilians who just watch wrestling on television. Sort of the different perspectives from everybody. It's super interesting.
It is, and that's that's one of the reasons we still do this, is because talking to the different people that come in and into our chat, because
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And Dan, he'll get that 2 minutes from now.
I love having these conversations. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think not everybody has the same opinion on everything.
So, Jared, let me ask you this, Jared, because you said something about being an independent wrestler, right? So, what do you do?
Said some. I don't even know where that comment was.
Yeah.
Something. But I don't know. I find it super interesting. Just sort of the different ideas that are thrown around, the different.
Jack's the Cornholio. Beavis and Butthead came into the chat.
And I don't get that reference at all.
Yeah, because you've never watched Beavis and Butthead.
Because I don't watch television. Actually, I do watch television. I just spend all my time watching wrestling. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Some of my ideas and some of the things that I think of is... I manage and have been in the ring. Cool. Like, I'm a teacher. So I hear kids talking in the hallways and things like that, and I just hear different conversations amongst kids and
well, not now. You don't,
Well, no, I'm actually teaching from home right now. So I hear ideas coming from these kids and things like that. So it's one of those things that when you and especially when I hear kids like talking about wrestling and things like that, it's because there aren't a lot of them that do it, and so I hear ideas and things that they like, and I am dealing with a little younger audience,
but still,
but it's one of those things that obviously if they have it on, maybe their parents have it on.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Me Too, Juggernaut Jared, such a wonderful, respectable podcast who are open to opinions.
We try.
Yeah, we try.
Oh, man.
It's not always as simple as 4 shows a month. Like, we've run 7 shows in a week before, but it totals around 45 a year. And on that, it's not much less than episodes of Raw, really. Like, from being in wrestling needs more fans more now than ever. Yeah, and I think that the sad part is I think that you have to entertain the public to get people to come in.
That's sort of like the I really like wrestling and I like watching really good matches, but I also want some sort of story or something to go with it. Because, matches can only go so far sometimes. For some people.
Yeah.
And if you're really into the whole, like, wrestling match, then okay, cool. But sometimes it's not enough. And you need to have some sort of story to go with it to continue keeping the people's attention.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. When teaching from home, can you still call in sick? All the time, Jack. I call in every day. I'm sick. I won't be in.
Oh, man. That's funny.
That's why I hijacked your show and doing audience market research with you both right now. I got 2 different age ranges in front of me in a chat room. How could I not? Mr. G is a serious... Okay, now what's a fwall?
I don't know.
Come on, Ant. Quit using...
Wall?
Ant! You know that I have no clue what you just said there.
Father, we all love.
Oh.
I don't know. Wall? Everybody's like,
See, Jack doesn't even know. He's like...
Man, if I'm right and it's Father We All Love, I'm gonna die. Eve, you evil genius. And 2 different genders, too. Great research opportunity. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It is. I mean, it's... You know... I got her interested when the WWE Network started out.
Yeah.
I used to, like, growing up, I watched wrestling till I probably right up until a couple years after I graduated high school. And then I kind of fell off, and I'd watch it, but I wasn't a diehard, like, go watch it. And obviously time and things like that played a huge part in it. And I just didn't watch it. And so, consistently. So then when she started watching it, I
was like, give me all the wrestling!
Yeah.
I want to watch it all!
So we got the WWE Network, and then I asked her, I said, or she asked me, she goes, hey, how about we do a show on YouTube? And I said, okay. I said...
This was a couple years ago. We kicked around this idea, and then, finally...
And then finally, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, well, we've been doing this almost 3 years now, right?
I don't know.
So 3 years or 2 years? 2 or 3 years we've been doing this now.
And I don't know. It was just, I was like, Dad, let's get on the internet and talk about
So then I started watching wrestling again and kind of getting back into it. And so, watching the stuff I've watched, at times, I'm sitting here going, some of this just doesn't even make sense. Like, there's no storyline here. Mm-hmm. And I don't like it. The Fed I'm in was building a storyline that lasted 4 months, which, I mean, you know what?
I
if
think
there's
something
me
that
personally,
WWE lacks
if
is
the
like
storyline lasted 4
long-term...
months, I would be cool with it as long as they weren't wrestling like
as long as
every week. They weren't like this week it's going to be this person, this person, and then
long
next
as
week
it
we're going to
all
have
makes
this person versus this person, and then the following week, oh, we're going to throw in a tag team match with this person versus these two against each other.
Yeah, that's something that really is like a downfall of WWE and the way they do that. But also, as long as it makes sense to continue it on. After they've, wrestled like once, I feel like it's almost like, well, what's like the point of that, like, why do that again, right? But as long as it's, like, it makes sense, then I have, no issue with a storyline lasting, 1, 2, 3, 4 months. Like, that doesn't bother me.
How you doing, RKS? I just made it up just to see the confusion I have on streams when the kids start writing letters.
We'll see. Father We All Love, it works.
Yeah.
I think you've just created something new.
And then Jack says, are you drunk again? He's drinking. How come Mustafa Ali was cool with Kofi getting his spot and now he wants to, like, destroy Kofi and now it doesn't make sense? No, it doesn't.
I don't know. That's another thing is, like, continuity and storylines. That's something else that, let's just, like, harp on WWE night, I guess.
But this could be for any organization.
I mean,
any promotion that does it is
like is because that's majority of what we watch is WWE. But like the inconsistency, going from storyline to storyline in certain things is like it doesn't make sense sometimes. As long as things make sense, I'm fine with it. But things don't make sense sometimes. So it is what it is, I guess. And that's just the charm of WWE, I suppose. And I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. Maven laughs at odd things. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar I do. We all know Maven laughs at anything dark. Yep.
So the start of the storyline was the person I managed gave me a one-person concerto. That's a wrestling move, dude. Yeah. Okay, just in case you were unaware. So. And Mr. G's sitting there going. Well, I'm trying to figure out where we're going with this.
Oh man.
I got clipped in the back of the head.
Ow. That probably felt nice.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think you can. If you have a long storyline that goes 4 months, I don't have any issues with things like that. As long as it's not a consistent, like for 4 months, you're just gonna get in the ring and wrestle each other. Mm-hmm. If there's promos that are involved in throughout this whole process, then I think that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And so, but if you're just constantly getting in the ring, and things like being attacked in the back, are cool, like in telling these stories. I think there's different things to do with telling the story.
The thing about WWE, to pick on WWE again, is I find that they skip a lot of steps in a storyline. They go from A to Z really, really quickly, and it's like, but wait a minute, how did you get there though? Like, you just missed 95 letters. Okay, we have A, we have J, we have T, and we have Z. And where's the rest of the alphabet, bro? Like, where did it go? It's not there because you didn't go through it. So I find that they skip a lot of steps when trying to build these storylines and stuff, and they go from beginning to end really, really quickly, which is where, like, sort of the longer-term booking would be better sometimes.
Yeah. I'm
not saying for every storyline because it doesn't work for every storyline, but I think that it's necessary sometimes to, it's necessary sometimes to continue getting the storyline across.
Yeah.
Which...
my birthday is the same week as Father's Day. If I have kids, they'd best buy me loads. That's all Jack's thinking about. Jack wants to have 25 kids, so like Father's Day weekend, he can get like 100 presents.
Oh, man.
We kept it going on Facebook through posts, which I think is cool because I think that the whole idea of using social media, especially now, since it's bigger, I think that's a cool way to do it.
Definitely.
You keep your feud going that way, that's a cool way to do it.
The sad thing is 90% of, there's a lot of storylines that have been built.
Cool, futuristic, thank you.
For WWE in specific, again, it's harp on WWE night. But some of the storylines that they've done, they've been built up on social media between these two people and not on television. So sometimes when they try to transfer over...
people miss what's happening.
Exactly. And that's sort of an issue with AEW too. Because they have the Being the Elite skits where they take some stuff from that and use it on television, and not everybody has seen that. And they don't necessarily mention the Being the Elite skits on the show, sort of what led to what they're doing. So some people are sort of like, huh? That's where I think that, they could improve that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Maybe with a banger of a point, a lot of steps get skipped, and Cesaro and Shinsuke tonight was a perfect example of that. Yes, definitely. I mean, there's no doubt about it that that they, again, it's a lot of what WWE does. It just don't. It doesn't make sense with some of the stuff they do. Mm-hmm. And it's like Maven said, going from point A to point Z, you want to hit every step in between. And a lot of times they may go from A to D up to T, and they just skip a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so you miss out on some of those stories, and you have no clue what's going on.
Absolutely.
If Bianca later doesn't win the Royal Rumble, we should have her win the Elimination Chamber. She's not winning the Rumble, Jack. Jono. Not happening. 25 kids. Oh, God, I would flee. Jack, when you have 25 kids, then until your kids are at work, you're buying yourself 25 presents, which is bloody expensive. More kids, cats, even cats. We don't know the number 30 smart for the Women's Royal Rumble, but yet there is having a match tomorrow for the number 30 spot for the women's match. Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm not buying 25 Xbox Series X games. Jack?
Don't have 25 kids.
Yeah, don't have 25 kids. That's the way to fix that. we all know you would do it. The thing is, Jack would buy the games, and the kids wouldn't even get to play it until Jack played it. A lot of people that went to that show are on our Facebooks, and that's the key. Is as using social media is good, and building things that way, and maybe that's something as a company you try and push.
Well, that's the other thing is marketing yourselves and putting yourselves out there. I find, again, WWE doesn't do a lot of that. They don't market their stuff very well.
Well, especially if you're going to carry the feud out on the social media side of things.
And the Edge showing up on Raw situation, that's a perfect example of that. Is like you didn't tell anybody before the show that Edge was going to be on your show. And you could have drawn some people in because you told people that Edge was going to be on your show and they would have stuck around to see Edge. But you didn't, and so you just had him appear on your show and people were like, what? Huh? Why did you do this? You know, like, I think the, you know, marketing yourselves is a huge thing. And that's why I think that AEW does a really great job, is because they tell you what you're getting, like, the week before it happens.
Yeah.
A couple weeks before it happens. Their card for next week is already laid out, like, this week. And we already know what's going to happen. And some things might be subject to change depending on what happens within the next week, but you at least have an idea going into the show of what's happening. Whereas, like, a WWE show, you don't necessarily know what's happening until, like, an hour, 2 hours before the show, if even. Sometimes you don't get anything.
Yeah. And
you just go into the show going, I don't know what the crap is happening. I have no idea. I have no idea what's happening. Like, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I think that marketing is something that needs to be done better. And they need to get better people on marketing. Not just for their shows, but like for their merchandise, for their action figures, for
social media.
I mean, all of it. I think that marketing is something that WWE does not do very well sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. G is nearly at 25. Yeah, I'm a long ways off from 25, Ant. 25, you're raising them, Ant. Kids aren't playing my games. I told you, Jack's gonna buy games and nobody's playing them. I got 2 kids. I have one of each. I've completed the collection, so I'm good. 2 kids is expensive enough as it is. You're richer than me. The finish was, we were in a casket match and I buried him. See, and I think that's cool. I think that's a cool way to do it. You know, as long as you tell the story throughout. Mr. G and Mrs. G have a whole collection. Mrs. G is making one in the back right now, putting together body parts. That's how it works, right? Yeah. Why are we talking about 25 kids? Jonelle?
It's Jack's fault.
It's Jack's fault.
Do you remember the other day when Jack came in and he was, what did he say? He said something. There was my water bottle looks like a goat's leg.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what he said. Something about, like, his thigh was itchy or something, and then he was like, that's besides the point. That was freaking funny. Jack just throws the chat off all the time, but we love him, and it's great.
Haven't wrestled since because I got back spasms and my knees gave out on me. Well, sorry to hear that, Jared. And it's a stork, duh. Yeah, the stork brings them. Back in the day, there was no social media, so everything you found out about wrestling would be on TV. Now it's to the point where you find out about people don't care about as much. Well, I think that's part of it, but I think you need to utilize the social media the right way. Jack, I'm not raising them. I'm not the father. I don't think.
You will, or I won't mod. Ah, man.
Nobody knew Braun Strowman was showing up tonight. No, but I didn't know he was showing up. I thought he'd show up at Rumble.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
It's almost 6 a.m. here. I need to call it a night. Really enjoyed this. Great points on all sides. I'll see you guys at the Rumble stream. All right. Thanks for stopping in, Dan. We appreciate it.
Such a great conversation.
Yes, definitely.
Really appreciate hearing your point of view on things. It's really cool.
Well, the cool thing is getting to hear from somebody that's in the business. And
that's what it was.
My thigh chase.
But that's irrelevant. That's what it was. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
Jack remembers everything.
Oh, it was so funny. Ah, man.
I suppose
we've been on here for nearly 3 hours.
Yeah.
How do we pull this off? I don't know. We just started talking.
Who wants to know about the president's desk?
So, yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. A really great conversation.
Definitely. It was a fun night.
Love hearing everybody's points of views. We will be back on Sunday. We will be on Gimme a Holy Yeah during the Royal Rumble. We're going to be joining Ant and Dom to watch the show. It's going to be fabulous. And then we will be back here after the Rumble, joined by Ant, to review the show.
Yes. So we will see you guys Sunday. With that, we're out. Peace out, everybody.